right, or you don't even
Let's get it going.
If your logic
How's
is
everybody
weak,
feeling?
I'll sink your boat. You talk slick, but
Forgot
you
to
ain't
add
got
that to the
source.
stage.
Just
Holy
vibes,
smoke.
that ain't power,
There we go.
that's force.
Sorry,
The
YouTube.
test, the
Sorry,
trap,
Twitch.
the trip, the call. You slip once, I'm snatching it all.
What up, Chris?
Step in if you dare. You dare. Get hard like a punch in the air.
Hey.
Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. Yeah.
One wrong move, get cooked real quick.
No cap, no shield.
Hey,
Better know your stuff
what's
before
going
you
on, guys?
get
Tap the
revealed.
screen, share the live.
Step in,
Again,
don't you wanna-
if we can knock out the pink heart puffs, it will help push us out to the FYP. So can we knock those out, please?
You get hard like a punch in the air. Ain't no rules, no plan, no script. One wrong move, get cooked real quick. No cap, no shield. Better know your stuff or you get revealed. Step in, don't you wanna sparring with Santana. Yeah, this ain't your safe place. This a flame space. Step in, don't you wanna
Sparring with Santana. All right, guys. All right, guys. Welcome in, guys. If you could, let's keep tapping the screen, share the live. We're going to go ahead and get into some debates. If you are someone, if you're a Trump supporter, go ahead and get in the box. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my backup up. I'm going to bring my backup up, There we go. Also, I'm going to do this. Hold on. Let me fix the camera angle. We got it. There we go. All right. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Jimothy Trump, get in the box because, listen. I'm tired of the games. I'm tired of the games with Trump supporters, and it's interesting that Trump supporters have been masked off recently, but it seems like it's taken a long time for them to get to that point. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that's actually tired of their BS, right? Maybe I'm the one that's, the only one that's here to say, cut it out. Cut the crap, right? I need every single Trump supporter to admit that you're good with higher prices. You're good with all the isms. You're good with the dictatorship. You're good with harming kids. And you're also good with weak leadership. Like, that's what you're about. You're absolutely about that. You're absolutely about that. And if you weren't, you wouldn't still be supporting Trump. That's what it boils down to. And I've been listening to, so I took a couple of days off. And with my couple of days off, I've been around YouTube. And I've heard them speak about certain things, right? And the interesting part for me has been listening to them moan and hum and say, oh, well, I didn't vote for that. I don't believe this. I'm not like that. And then 20, 30, 40 minutes on TikTok Live, they finally go mask off. They finally do it. And I'm just wondering, like, why wait? Why wait? Yeah, all they want to do is get on panels and slur. All they want to do is lean into the hatred. They thought they were going to just be harmful to everyone else. And they were willing to be harmful, and it cost them, right? They're good with higher prices as long as they can be hateful and harmful. They're good with higher prices as long as they can do the isms and not feel bad about it. Hell, they're even good with the dictatorship. They want Trump to continue to oppress them so bad, it's weird. They don't even care about children. And I'm not just talking about the Epstein list and the fact that Donald Trump, the Trump administration, is not only a crime syndicate, but they're a bunch of PDF files. They're a bunch of grapists. They're an organization that actually thrives on multiple instances of being harmful, and they're okay with being harmful towards kids. And Donald Trump is a weak leader, which is wild. The fact that MAGA accepts Donald Trump as a weak leader while over and over and over vilifying Joe Biden. We remember the Sleepy Joe stuff, right? When they talked about Joe Biden is asleep at the wheel. Joe Biden is someone who is a weak leader. Hell, they even said they wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris because other countries wouldn't respect her. But we have no respect under Donald Trump, and they're good with that. With that being said, guys, only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. This is some debates. And so if you are not a Trump supporter, please do not request up. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well to 50 shares. Don't spam share. Just share it out maybe once or twice. Only share it just a couple of times. And because, spamming will hurt the live. So do all the wonderful things. Not great. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Perfect. And I see that you were a recent guest, so I'm assuming you know who I am.
Oh, I don't recall, but
okay, no worries.
I think I'm going to guess your name's Santana.
It is. Absolutely. All right. So, let me give you a proper introduction then, since you don't recall. It's all good. Let me give you a proper introduction to not only who I am, but what this is. Is that okay?
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the...
Y'all ready for this? Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're someone that supports Donald Jimothy Trump, get in the box. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are not talking to friendlies. We are only looking for some debates. If you're a friendly, keep tapping the screen. Again, guys, let's get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Also, let's get the shares up as well. Last but not least, let's knock out the daily gift goal. It's the little 1 cent goals. I'm going to keep resetting these 1 cent goals until we get pushed out to the FYP. So if you can keep knocking those out, it will help. Also, send your daily heart me. It's only 1 coin, and it will help boost the live. So send your daily heart me. Let's do that. All right. Not the greatest. What can I call you?
That's not very nice.
Or I'm sorry, Nate. I'm sorry. I apologize. Nate. Nate the Great.
Why can't we come together? Why can't we have that bipartisan spirit? Why does it have to be?
There's a lot behind that. Nate. So can I call you Nate? Is that okay?
Well, that's the concept. Yeah, Nate.
Okay.
Good.
Perfect. Nate, got something for you.
Okay, buddy.
Fuck it, mask on. Mask on. Fuck it,
Mask on.
Nate, are you willing to actually take your mask off and admit that you are?
You want me to put my mask on?
No, I want you to actually let me finish. Holy smokes, I'm starting to remember you. Can you admit that you're good with higher prices? You're good with all the isms. You're good with the dictatorship. You're good with harming kids, and you're even good with weak leadership. Can you admit that, or would you like to actually admit that Kamala was right, and we can go on about our merry way? Which one would you like to do? You're muted. You were yapping. You're probably still yapping and not realizing that you.
Oh, how dumb of me that I got muted.
That's super ableist. You shouldn't say that.
Leadership and control.
Yeah, you wouldn't stop talking while I was talking. Listen, seriously, Nate. Let's go one at a time.
I'm
not even.
We're gonna be serious. Oh, we're gonna be.
Getting muted again. I'm like, come on, let's go one at a time, Nate. I'm really not here for the BS. If you don't want to actually engage,
you want to put words in my mouth? Ask me a question. Talk to me.
I literally I did the intro, the opening. Nate,
Yeah, buddy.
are you good with all of these things?
Of course not. I want the bet. It depends on what metrics you're looking at as far as assessing what a good economy is. Okay. So the previous administration did not prevent inflation. The damage is done. Inflation is under control. It's at 2.7. It's an index number, the CPI.
Are you done? I don't want to interrupt. Okay. So listen, the actual, yes, the inflation rate is 2.7, but it is up. And if you take a look at the actual indicator that I'm referring to, I'm not just talking about inflation, right? I'm talking about the overall cost of goods, which is up. The overall living expenses is up. Gas is up. Inflation is up. And more people, you know what else is up? Unemployment is up, right? Literally every metric that we would actually measure a successful economy, our actual GDP shrunk. And all of these things were done in the name of what? Like fixing something that wasn't necessarily broke. Or, hey, Nate, question for you. Why was the inflation rate so high under the Biden-Harris administration?
Because they fire hose money into the economy during COVID and post-COVID, and these spending bills that are disguised as something other than what they really are, increase the money supply when there's a finite amount of goods and services available.
Okay, so that's wrong, but okay. Nate.
No, it's not wrong, but okay.
It's absolutely wrong.
Okay, it's wrong.
So I think that
it's your life, buddy. It's your life. It's
Nate,
your
do
reality.
you see how, like, Nate, you see
living
how,
in a
like,
false reality.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you again, Nate. Seriously, you see how when you're speaking, I don't speak. I'm gonna ask for the same respect. I'm gonna ask for the same respect, and if you don't, like, you can move on. Seriously, Nate. Like, I'm genuinely not here.
Feelings.
Cry from the comments. Cry from the comments. Also, Diesel, like, I see you spamming, but guess what? Get in the box or shut the fuck up. Seriously. The point that I'm trying to make is I refuse, Nate, to actually do this. Like, you're talking over me, I'm talking over you. I'm literally giving you the floor. So, MAGA, I'm going to give you the floor, but I refuse to not be able to speak on my own platform. And I'm going to give you the floor to speak. So let's do it. Anywho, guys, again, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are not talking to friendlies. Please only request up if you are a Trump supporter. T, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I voted for Trump.
Perfect. T, got something for you.
Mask on, fuck it, mask on, mask on, fuck it, mask on.
T, are you ready to take the mask off and admit that you're good with higher prices, all of the isms, a dictatorship, harm towards kids, and weak leadership? Or are you ready to admit that Kamala was right and we can just go on about our merry way?
No, Kamala wasn't right. And I'm not really, I don't agree with your, I mean, I guess, how does the harm towards kids play in here?
Yeah, okay. So as far as harm towards kids, it's multifaceted, right? We can talk about the actual cover-up that the Trump administration is going through great lengths to make sure that the Epstein list doesn't come out. We can talk about the fact that Congress passed the BBB, which is going to knock kids off of Medicaid. It's going to cut SNAP benefits, so they're going to have less access to food. And we can also talk about the fact that they are kids off. Yeah, that's how it works. I mean, we know that kids don't directly get SNAP benefits; their parents do, and so that's why we say it's kicking kids off, right?
Yeah.
And even more than that, there has been work requirements, right? So this isn't new. It's something that is being done in a malicious way that's specifically targeting the people that need those benefits the most. Like, that's the problem that I have, and that's something that this administration is absolutely leaning into.
Hang on just a second.
Yeah, no worries. Guys, as he does whatever he does, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 75,000 or 50,000. Guys, we haven't even made it to 50,000 yet. Keep tapping the screen. Also, again, I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to this little 1 cent goal. And if you like to support the live, you can do so at Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You. The pay link is in the link tree in the bio. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. All right, sorry. Go ahead, T.
No, I was just right in the middle of drinking something, so I couldn't really answer.
You're good.
Well, I get the whole, you say kids aren't getting them, and it's really not true. It's what Democrats like to do a lot is say false statements, which that is a very much a false statement. And too, I do believe there has always been work requirements, but if they weren't being followed, why would we have to change them now?
Yeah, so as far as why we would have to, well, first and foremost, we didn't have to, right? But the reason that it was quote unquote changed now, it's simple. They want to be able to pay for tax cuts for the ultra wealthy, and finding ways to cut said money is the easiest way to do so. Now, understanding that when you attack the marginalized people that actually don't have, or the people that's looked at as lesser than, then it's easier to cut those funds. I mean, that's why they use the veil of saying like, oh, the people that's going to lose these access are undocumented immigrants. Like, the undocumented immigrants aren't going to have access to SNAP benefits. The undocumented immigrants aren't going to have access to Medicaid, when undocumented immigrants already don't get access to those things.
That's untrue, though. They do. That's been proven.
Proven where?
Absolutely been proven.
Proven where?
Well, I can look it up if you need me to, but
sure, go ahead.
It is proven that undocumented workers have gotten benefits from the government, including those benefits you're talking about, even though they shouldn't.
Sure.
The state I live in.
Look it up and tell me where you can find it.
The state I live in is in Oregon. Is one of the biggest. So, yeah.
So are we talking about state benefits, or are we talking about federal benefits?
Federal benefits.
No. So Oregon has certain protections that they afford to undocumented immigrants, which a lot of the actual progressive states like Oregon, like Washington, like California, they do those types of things, but they're not federally funded programs or initiatives. Federally funded programs and initiatives like SNAP benefits and Medicaid benefits, they don't have access to those things because undocumented immigrants do not have social security numbers, so they can't go through the actual legal methods of applying for those things.
And you're telling me that you don't believe that there are
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Maybe his phone died or something. I'm not sure what just happened. Anywho, guys, again, keep tapping the screen. I don't think he ran. It was weird. It's just like he didn't get raptured. I didn't get a message or anything like that. So I don't know what happened. But again, guys, keep tapping the screen, share the live. Again, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only talking to Trump supporters. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. No, it wasn't a magic trick. I didn't kick him. Like, we were having an actual good conversation, or at least not good, but it was in earnest, right? It was genuine. So yes, yes, the social security number is powerful. So we will get back into it as soon as Trump supporters get in the box, right? I don't know. Again, the premise behind why I actually decided to do this, right, is because I'm genuinely tired of Trump supporters hiding who they are. And I say this all the time, right? I am good with who you are as long as you show me who you are. I'm good with that. I can deal with an open racist. I can deal with an open sexist. I can deal with someone who is just the worst version of themselves. And they admit it. The thing that I can't deal with, though, is disingenuous people. I can't deal with people who hide behind a mask, who smile in your face and then poke you in the back. And that's who Trump supporters are being. Whether we talk about the fact that you know for a fact, like you knew that Donald Trump and his policies were going to raise prices. You knew this. You absolutely knew it. Leading economists said that it was going to raise prices. Donald Trump said that he was going to put tariffs on everyone. Tariffs are a tax on you. He said all of this. And you still said, I'm good with it. Donald Trump also allows you to be racist. Donald Trump allows you to be sexist. The wild thing is Donald Trump allows you, people who don't even have money, to be classist. How can you be broke and classist? That part is wild. Because every Trump supporter thinks that for some reason they're just one lottery ticket away, one scratch off away from being Elon Musk. And you're not. You're not. They'll never pick you, ever. No matter how many pair of Trump shoes you buy, no matter how many meme coins you grab, no matter how many times you scream Trump 2024, you buy all of these MAGA hats, any of those things, you'll never be one of them. And they know that. Simple. Guys, only request up if you're a Trump supporter. We're not looking to talk to friendlies. We're only looking to speak to Trump supporters. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are not talking to friendlies. We're only talking to Trump supporters. Welcome in, Erica Raid. Welcome in, Erica Raid. I hope everyone had an amazing time over with Erica. I saw her conversation tonight. I think it was one that was much needed. Great topics. It seemed like some people might have been a little receptive. Some people were not as receptive. But you know, Miss Renee 69. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the shares, but we don't want to spam that. We don't want to spam the shares. That will help hurt the live. I appreciate it. Please. We're good though. David, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay. David, how old are you?
19.
David, what year were you born?
2006.
2006. What month?
March
2006. Okay. All right. David, got something for you.
Mask on, fuck it, mask on, mask on, fuck it, mask on.
David, let's take the mask off. Are you ready to admit, as someone who supports Donald Trump, that you are good with higher prices, all of the isms, a dictatorship, harm towards kids, and you were good with weak leadership? Or would you actually like to say Kamala was right and we can just go on about our way?
I mean, like, Trump's a gooner. I mean, like,
he's a what?
Trump's a gooner. I mean,
I thought you said a goober. I was gonna say he's definitely a goofy goober.
No, Trump's a gooner. Like, what? I mean, I am a gooner myself. Like, yo, come on.
Okay. So you're good with all of the negative impacts and ramifications that the Trump administration is is levying on the American people. You are good with Donald Trump selling out your future.
Yes, because like he is a gooner like me. Come on.
That's all you got, bud?
I mean, why can't I like another gooner? What? Or what?
Yeah, David, got something for you, bud. Got something for you.
What?
This is an intervention.
An intervention?
Your friends have reason to believe that you are suffering from chronic Trump dependency. May I call you Tom?
Is this some kind of joke?
Trump dependency is no laughing matter. Addiction to a Trump can fuck with your friends, your health, and scary enough, even your money.
With that being said, David, I'm going to go ahead and let you go on about your merry way because, like, I'm sorry, I don't know what a gooner is. If that's all you got, then that's not good enough. I promise you, you can't hang with me. Anywho, guys, tap the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 60,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to at least 70 shares. Also, guys, massive W's in the chat for Kayla over on YouTube, who sent a $4.99 YouTube super chat to say, I hate Trump and all his supporters so much that the anger can consume me, but you're great. Listen, Kayla, don't let them win. Don't let them win. They are the worst of the worst. We know this. We understand this, but the simple fact of the matter is you're better than them. We're better than them. Period. As a matter of fact, if you're listening right now, if you are someone that is in the chat and you're listening, no matter if you're over on YouTube, Twitch, if you're over on if you're on TikTok, if you're watching this back, for the people that are watching this in the past or future or whatever, if you're listening to this and you hear me speaking to you right now and you don't support Donald Trump, you're better than them. And I said it. What up, Swan?
I just came up to tell you that that word is used for someone who excessively engages with themselves while watching nasty movies.
Oh, okay. They like to touch themselves.
Yes, he's saying it in the comments section too. I just wanted to make sure that you knew what that word meant. I was like, what the hell? Why would he say that? That's why I came up here. You can drop me down, but I just wanted to give you that heads up.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you. That's why I normally don't engage with kids. Like, that's weird. That's weird. That's absolutely weird. I guess. The incels, like the incel thing to me is wild. I don't get it. I don't understand incels. Maybe I'm not supposed to understand them, but I don't understand them. Yeah, if you decide that's what you want to do, I mean, sure, but why would you come on a TikTok live and you know, tell the world that? What's the point? I don't know. Again, guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only looking for some debates. We're only looking for some debates, guys. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are only looking for some debates. Arthur, are you a Trump supporter? Arthur, are you a Trump supporter?
No.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to drop you down. So, guys, something else that I want to talk about, right? Because I think that it's worth having the conversation around. How much longer do you think that Donald Trump is going to last? Not unalive, but how much longer do you think he's going to be president? And I know technically he has 3.5 years or whatever, but I think the pump is being primed to have him removed. Am I the only one that thinks that? Am I the only one that believes that they're making a play to get him out of here? I think that's why, like you see in certain aspects that he's losing support, and we can talk about the Epstein files, and we can talk about how, like, some of the actual Republicans are supportedly saying if he pardons, I think it's pronounced Glazine, whatever, Maxwell, Epstein's partner, then they are willing to impeach him. I think it's a setup. I think that's what's actually happening. I do. I do think that he's getting ready to Ghislaine. I'm gonna Ghislaine. Fuck it. She's a PDF file. I don't give a fuck how do you say her name, honestly. She's a horrible person. But with that being said, they moved her to a minimum security prison, right? And they said the reason why they moved her is because of the hatred that she was getting. The fact that she was unsafe. But this was after she met with the Trump DOJ. And this was also after she said, hey, I want full immunity to testify. Trump is getting ready to pardon her. Trump is absolutely getting ready to pardon her. And I think that's going to be a thing. Also, the reason why I say MAGA is good with the dictatorship is Trump supporters. Are you guys mad at what's happening in Texas? Trump supporters, are you pissed off at Greg Abbott? You have to be, right? Mike, are you a Trump supporter?
Well, I voted for the guy. I wouldn't say I really support the guy now, but I think the left is really good at speculating and generalizing, and then force attributing attributes to Trump supporters unduly. So
Sure. We can get into that whole type for just a half a second, though. You said you voted for him, but you wouldn't necessarily call yourself a supporter. Mike, if the election was today,
won't answer the question because it's absurd. It's back in time.
Yeah, I just
would vote for Obama.
Yeah, sure, I hear you.
You know,
right here today. Hey, Mike, focus for me. Right here today, if you had the option to vote again, would you vote for Donald Trump or would you vote for Kamala Harris?
I would still vote for Trump.
Okay, so you're a Trump supporter. Got it. All right, so got something for you.
Mask on, fucking mask on, mask on.
Are you ready to go ahead and just take your mask off and admit, Mike, that when you voted then and with your support today, that you're good with higher prices, all of the isms, a dictatorship, harm towards kids, and weak leadership? And I understand you're not willing to admit
I don't agree with any of that. I don't agree with any. As a matter of fact, the reason I came up, right, is because it's speculated. Like, while you're busy saying this is what he's prepping to do with Ghislaine, other people are speculating, no, they're putting her in a minimum security with no cameras so that they're more easily either to kill her or fake her dead.
Unalive.
Oh, what fake? Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It's just TikTok friendly language. We don't. Your TikTok get banned and put the live in jeopardy.
What can I say? You'll have to cut me off at the pass.
Yeah, no worries. It's just it's really funny. So you just want to say things like unalive, pew pew, mustache man. I'm sorry. Go ahead and make your point again, but just remember unalive.
Well, how about D-alive? Unalive sounds like you're raising someone from unalive. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, moral of the story is, right, that other people are speculating it's just going to be a repeat of Epstein, and that they're positioning her for a knockoff right? Not to do deals, right? Not to testify that this is going to be perfect positioning for a pew pew. There you go.
Well, yeah,
beyond that,
so I'll say this: like, I'm not one that would be like, oh, I think that's unrealistic, because I kind of do. Like, I could see that, but the thing that I do know for a fact is something is in the works, right? And it wouldn't shock me. Either one wouldn't shock me, to be honest.
Well, okay, now let me also get to the other reason why I came up here, right? Is there's this like a lot of people are hammering on the price of goods, as they should. But one of the main reasons that I voted for Trump, if not the main reason that I voted for him, had nothing to do with any of the things that you mentioned, right? I'm not into dictatorship, but it's not about deportation or harming people. No, God Christ, no. What it was the idea that the only thing that I could see, right, that if Kamala or if some other Republican got
Kamala.
Can I? You just got me to unalive. Would you?
Yeah,
You sound just like Dean. Whatnot? Like, can I?
Sure, that's
is
fine.
it okay
But her
to have
name
an
is
accent?
Kamala, and I mean, if you can't
Look,
say Kamala,
Miss
just say Harris.
Miss
That's
Harris. Okay, look. You just see. Here's the other thing. You're an exact clone of Dean and Parker, right down to this thing. Wait,
Well,
and you got the red hat. You got the red hat.
and you. Would you
And they
like to
don't
know
wear a
what the
red hat,
difference?
so
Would
that's
you
a
like to know
difference.
the difference between
You
me,
wear a
Dean,
red
and
hat.
Parker? The difference
You're
between
black.
me, Dean, and Parker. Yes, you're
You wear a
absolutely
red
right.
hat.
I'm black, right? And the fact that I'm black, I understand microaggressions, which I'm sure you don't. But more than anything, I understand the disrespect by saying a black person's name intentionally is a form of microaggression, and I'm not going to stand for it. Also, she is the former vice president of the United States. We say Obama, we say Trump, we say Biden. Why the fuck do you have to try to say her first name? Just say her last name. Like, don't be such an asshole. Just do it. Like, what are we even doing?
I'm not trying to be an ass, dude. And I
Okay,
don't
then,
think
like,
anyone
don't
else
make a
is.
big
You're
deal
the
about
one.
it and either say Kamala or just move
Look,
on and say
look at
Harris.
how you're all testy. I said I'd say Harris. Relax,
Right.
dude.
Yeah, keep going.
Relax. I'm trying to get to my point, right?
Sure,
And
make
if
your
you
point.
don't want to have it because you're busy telling me the way it
Sure,
is,
make your point.
right? So here's the deal, right? Is that the laissez-faire economic, hey, we're going to just keep overspending until our economy tanks and we're sold off for parts like a broken business, right? No. The big thing is you take you take a fiat currency that is unbounded and you rotate it, right, which is inflationary, and you rotate the whole thing into deflationary assets. And then you lock those in place and you slowly sell off all the treasuries. You let all of our bonds deflate while everyone moves over into deflationary crypto. And all of a sudden it makes sense. You saved the economy. It's a Hail Mary pass. That's why I voted for him.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, dude.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
I know what bullshit sounds like.
Oh, you don't. So you don't understand.
What you're speaking is the same frequency as that shit.
First and foremost, yes, I understand the fiat currency, and I even understand the approach for crypto. There's multiple issues with crypto, and even more so, it's a scam. It's a scheme.
Multiple issues of everything.
It's a scheme
America's
for
a
the
scam,
ultra wealthy. It's the scheme for the ultra wealthy to get more wealthy. When you talk about
it's accessible to everyone with a phone.
Right, I hear you. When you talk about them actually spending, we understand that Donald Trump has added trillions of dollars to the deficit. Donald Trump also,
to make money,
with the passing of the BBB, yeah, we didn't make money though. Again,
look. Here's you wouldn't even let me finish my point.
I need you to slow down. I listened to you yap, and then yes, I jumped in. We're gonna go one at a time. I don't want you to keep going too far before I get to address the things that you're saying.
All right? I know, but you won't even let me land, dude. If you would have just let me land the plane.
You absolutely did. You voted for him because you said it's a Hail Mary pass. You think that they're going to go from relying on the US dollar to relying on crypto. It's going to save the economy.
I counted on October 1st, August 1st to be the cutoff date, and all of the malfeasance and all the other crap that Trump went through that I think is absolutely insane. And he lost my support for that for humanitarian reasons. Of course, if anything can go right, I don't think it's necessarily totalitarian.
Can I address your point before you move on to
what
more
point?
Points?
I'm trying. Those are all
The point that you
digressions.
made about the economy, the point that you made about what he was going to be able to do with getting the reliance off the U.S. dollar and the reliance on crypto.
If you want to hear yourself talk, I'll just sit here, right?
Okay,
go ahead.
That's
whatever.
Fine. I would like to be able to speak on my own platform. Thank you. So the point that I'm making is Donald Trump is horrible for debt spending. He added massive amounts of debt in his first term. The BBB is doing the same thing. It's on pace to add another $4 trillion, while also taking away from the people that need support the most. That need support the most. And then at the same time, Donald Trump and the Trump administration, yes, they are looking to move towards crypto, but it's not to quote unquote make other people money. It's not even to make America money. They're looking to actually rob the country blind, right?
Okay.
That's why Donald Trump has made over $500 million already since he's been back in office on crypto. And then you talk about the actual bills that they're trying to push. They're literally trying to pass a cryptocurrency bill that would require the actual U.S. government to buy a certain amount of crypto for 10 years, guaranteeing the price of crypto. What that is actually going to do is it's going to allow people that owns Bitcoin to actually be able to sell off Bitcoin. The thing about Bitcoin is it's super high right now, but you can't really sell it because if you sell it, then it starts to actually deflate the value of Bitcoin. Too many people selling it, it drops in value. So what they're looking to do is actually secure it by selling United States gold. They're trying to sell the United States gold to buy the Bitcoin, and it's going to allow the ultra wealthy to make money hand over fist while the United States has to secure a certain amount of Bitcoin. It's all a money grab for the ultra wealthy. It's not going to benefit the country.
May I? Because I'm not an ultra wealthy guy, and I don't even appreciate ultra wealthy guys. And my only pushback is this: since it's all like, once again, it's either the economy tanks or there's some workaround in order to fix and restabilize and sell off or lose the debt. It's what's happening. Yes, it is a Hail Mary's pass. As far as what you're saying about the gold, that's one economic theory, right?
It's not a theory. It's literally a bill.
Excuse me. I know you believe it. You believe. I know you.
It's not a theory. It's literally, it's not a theory. It's not a speculation. It's literally a bill.
Look, I'm not. Look.
Mike.
I've read all these
Mike,
bills.
can we be adults? Yes or no?
Yeah, I know. Other than you're going to tell me the way you see economy, I'm going to try to.
Seriously, I don't know if you can tell right now. Like, I don't know if you even know who I am.
You're trying to walk my dog.
Sure. No. I don't know if you know who I am.
Your way.
I don't know. I don't know if you've ever seen me.
I don't think you know who I am.
Yeah, what? I don't. Just stop coming off mute.
What do you want?
I just want you to stop coming off mute. Thank you. I don't think you really know who I am or how I do things. And my patience is razor thin at this moment. Seriously. So I'm trying to go one at a time. I will let you speak. You let me speak. I'm not going to cut you off. I'm not going to let you go for 5 minutes, but I'm not going to cut you off. And you don't cut me off. Are we good?
Can you time out even 30 to 45 seconds for me before you?
I'll let you speak. Absolutely. I'm just saying, like, let's do the things. Also, 1 second. Welcome in, Parker Raid. I hope everyone is having an amazing evening. Parker Raid. Welcome in, guys. As you get in, tap the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Let's also go ahead and get the shares up. And I'm going to reset the daily gift goal. If we can knock that out a couple of times, it'll help push us out to the FYP. Last but not least, guys, if you take a look up at the top, if you have not sent your daily heart me, go to send your daily heart me. It is 1 coin, and it will help boost the live and push us out to the FYP. If you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Go ahead and hit that follow button. Go ahead and hit the follow button. And if you like to support the live, you can do so through Santana Speaks Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You. Pay link in the link tree in the bio. Just like Gene, W's in the chat for Gene, who sent a $1 donation to say, W Santana, W Eugene. Thank you for the $1 donation. If you like to support the live, you can do so. Or if you're over on YouTube, welcome in Parker Raid over on YouTube. Make sure you like the stream and hit the sub. You can send a YouTube super chat. And guys, again, if you're in the request, make sure you're a Trump supporter. Please do not request up if you are not a Trump supporter. We are not talking to friendlies. We are only looking for debates. So if you are someone that is a quote unquote friendly, do not request up. I'm not talking to friendlies. I'm only looking for some debates. Mike, the floor is yours.
Okay. Now, unless you have the name of another act, right, other than the Genius Act or the Clarity Act, if there's something new that's coming through that's very specific about this gold situation that you're mentioning,
would you like it?
Sure, but give me my time just for a sec.
Like I'm asking a question. Should I pull it up while you're speaking so I can give it to you?
Please pull it up, right? So anyway, the whole point is once again in using these instruments in order to help out to keep the economy itself, American economic sovereignty together itself, right? Even if they're going to use the gold to do this, and other people are like, well, they're going to deflate the bonds, right? And however they're going to maneuver this is an attempt to keep us a soluble, sovereign economic country. Now, and my last point on top of that is that otherwise we would have just blown out. We would have just entirely annihilated ourselves because we can't afford by far to even pay off the interest. This is the best move that we could have done, that I could imagine. If you had some other plan other than the Trump plan, because certainly Miss Harris, right, didn't propose anything like this. So she was just going to do run of the mill. Oh, she was going to run a crypto thing. She was going to run a
she had
last thing, this claim that it's all for the rich. Every single time these are out, they are saying it beforehand for the little guy who has a cell phone in his hand, which is 99.9% of the people then have a bank account, can buy these assets. You can ride.
All right. So with that being said, a couple of things, right? The bill that you want to look up is S.954. It was introduced by the 119th Congress. The bill established a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And again, it says that it uses resources from the Federal Reserve System to offset costs. That's where they are looking to actually purchase purchase Bitcoin by using gold. And it's a bill that they're trying to push through. So yes, it's something that you have not heard of. And it's literally them trying to actually use the Federal Reserve gold to purchase Bitcoin, which Bitcoin is held by ultra wealthy people. Now, with that being said, you talk about the actual, the way that they have, you said that,
Bitcoin is held by people.
Mike, stay on mute until I finish my sentence, okay? Until I'm done speaking. When you talk about the actual, the fact that, we keep saying that they're helping the ultra wealthy, literally the BBB is going to do that. The BBB is actually instituting the largest wealth transfer in the United States history. It's taking away from the people who make the least and the people that have the least and giving it to the ultra wealthy. So when I talk about the things that the Trump administration are doing, like, I'm not saying that some other people will not benefit as a bipartisan. I mean, hell, you can look at the TCJA. Yes, certain people benefited from the TCJA, but overwhelmingly the top 1% and the ultra wealthy benefited from those bills. That's my whole point. Donald Trump and his administration specifically targets things that are helpful to the richest among us. And if someone happens to benefit from it, then they happen to benefit from it. That's my point. Also, let me read these two off real quick. So W's in the chat for D Smith, who sent a $5 YouTube super chat to say, love what you do. Keep making the world better. D Smith, thank you so much for that $5 YouTube super chat. Also, W's in the chat for Allison, who sent a $10 YouTube super chat saying, keep fighting the good fight. Allison, you're freaking awesome. Thank you so much for that $10 donation. Guys, if anyone else would like to support, you can do so. Santana speaks for you. All of the pay links are in the link tree in the bio, or you can send a YouTube super chat and I will read that message out. Mike, floor is yours.
I didn't know if you meant the Better Business Bureau when you said BBB.
No, the quote unquote big beautiful bill. That's what he calls it. Or I call it the BBB for short.
That thing took me 2.5 hours to read, and I even had to skim some of the parts. That thing was so stinking thick. And I
hate, can I just say, I hate that, like, that's how, like, Congress or lawmakers does it, period, right? They have these large, massive bills filled with, you know, different layers of complexity, and it's to make sure that people, one, don't understand what's in the bill, but also, two, they try to jam a lot of things into it because a lot of time, and it's horrible, but Congress members admit it, like they don't read the actual stuff that's in the bill. They just vote on it because, you know, they normally vote across party lines.
Well, true. And look, I would prefer a single issue bills, and I understand that they cram it through. I'm just kind of curious though. Did you ever think that Congress was bought out with money? Well, even before Trump got on the scene.
Yeah.
Do you think there's right? So you already kind of agree that despite party, there's money in the back end that's influencing everything.
Yeah, I mean, like,
we're on the same page.
I've said this a million times. Until money is out of politics, the politicians will never actually do the things that are beneficial for their constituents. But the problem that I have with Donald Trump and this Trump administration is the unprecedented like money grab that they're going through right now. The fact that they're literally looking to enrich themselves in every single way, and that's a problem.
Well, and okay, so the only hypotheticals that I've heard, right? Because I already agree that what's going on is going to require that a greater separation from the rich to the poor, and the lower middle class is likely to even go homeless. So some benefit to that was that new people that couldn't buy houses when there's going to be a real estate crash, those that are still floated a little bit, will be able to buy properties cheaper, right? Buying low, and that there was some attribute there that was highlighted as a silver lining for that. Another thing had to do with some signature around the time of Reconstruction, and I haven't been able to vet it. That was something about when we became more of a contract country, as opposed to saying I'm a citizen of the United States of America. You say I'm a citizen of the United States, right? Or these arguments of quote unquote the sovereign man that's following common law as opposed to case law and that kind of thing, right? So supposedly there is something about something owed to citizens from over 100 years that may be reapplicable. Now, as far as I know, this is all just hyperbole and speculation on what's going to happen.
I hate it's hard to deal with like the sovereign citizens and the ones that, you know, it says that, oh, your social security number has a trust and like blah, 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 blah. I don't know. That's a lot. Absolutely.
Right.
Also, welcome in Brett Raid. Welcome in Brett Raid. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I guess I'm going to say is right to your list, because what's really bothered me, right? Because I voted. I didn't vote for Trump in the first case, and then I did vote for Biden, and then this last time I voted for Trump. But I had my reasons, right? And the thing, and I just gave you the main reason on this. But the thing that is so upsetting is that people are busy stating what in law is called mens res, right? Mm-hmm. Or the intent or motivation behind somebody's actions, right? As if if you're a black fella that voted for Trump, then you're not racist. But if you're a white fella who voted for Trump, then you are racist and misogynist. Or some of these like class cases that are just kind of projected on people unduly and actually quite wrongly. Like, to me, it's bad logic, but it seems to be the common trait, right? Yeah, over here you get your pride.
Let me say this. Yeah. and I've said this a million times, I think a lot of people conflate this, or Trump supporters conflate this. And if you voted for Donald Trump, I'm not saying you're a racist. If you voted for Donald Trump, I'm not saying you're a sexist. If you voted for Donald Trump, I'm not saying you're a classist. But I am saying that you're okay with it. That's why I didn't say that, you know, you believe in all of these things. I didn't say that you agree with all of these things, but it's not a deal breaker for you. And that's the point that I'm making. Like the actual fact that a lot of this stuff was known prior to voting for Donald Trump is the point.
Well, okay, and even that is under critique, and in my mind. But first of all, what I'll say is this, right? I have no idea, like Vance had Project 2025 behind him, and there was some Palantir thing. Now, of even the Democrats that I know, I ask, well, did you read Project 2025? And most of them say, well, no, but I heard about it, or I let ChatGPT read it. Well, good for you, right? So, but the problem is this, right? To believe that available information is consumed information, then believe that because there's available information that everybody gathers it in the same way. And even if they do read it, are they going to interpret it the same way as somebody else? And so this is an issue with semiotics and semantics, and then relationship to information itself. And that's always varied per individual. But it's okay, right?
Wait, so let me stop you for a second. So are you saying that, because I think we can agree then, if it's an actual consumption issue, right? Because if they have access to said knowledge and they don't consume it, then it's willing ignorance, right?
Right. The same reason why I say, look, everyone that has a phone can just buy XRP and buy their Bitcoin. It's right there. It's available. If you're ignorant to it, I don't know what to tell you. Right? If it's your lifeline, and by the same accord that you're telling me about this, I'm saying it over here, right?
Well, so as far as like, excuse me, as far as like being able to buy Bitcoin, like I think that one's a little bit different though, because it's a luxury. It's a luxury. There's a lot of people. That's why, like, when you talk about, like, I've heard people saying, oh, the stock market crashing is going to do great because other people are going to be able to buy homes, and you know, the home market crashing is going to be great because people will be able to buy homes. The stock market crashing is going to be great because people can buy stocks. But at the end of the day, if you don't have money, you can't buy stocks or property.
About $16 a Bitcoin before I got online tonight, before I came in here to talk to you on Venmo.
Listen,
I had $16.
But see, this is the thing. When you're living paycheck to paycheck and you barely have any money at all, like when you're worried about your next bill, when you're worried about putting food in your, like, you do understand that there's a large majority of kids that go to bed every night hungry. And when you can't even feed your kid, you're not thinking about buying Bitcoin. If you got $16, you're going to go buy bread and sandwich meat so you can eat. You're not going to buy Bitcoin.
Let me tell you this, right? Because like I said, I had never voted Republican in my life. I once registered when Ron Paul was running because I liked the idea of getting rid of the Fed, right? And one of the things, by the way, as a side note, is that the Clarity Act or the Genius Act sidesteps the Federal Reserve for having access to even their own stable coin, right? It's a sidestepping of the amendment. And I think, well, that's brilliant. That's what we need. It's at least chopping away at its power, right? And that's just
Tell me why you don't like the Fed, because there's a lot of Republicans that say that, and like I don't always agree with the Fed, but I think it's a necessary thing to have, especially as far as
department. I would, if it was a department in the United States, it'd be one thing. I'll let you know the USAID. When I read all of that, that is the one exception. That is the one department of the government that was not signed in. That had an exception that the USAID could not go and audit the Fed. And I thought, damn it, they're protecting them, right? And that really upset me. But now when they're bypassing them with the Genius Act, I'm like, okay, so they're weakening that. But the whole reason is it's not an actual department, and so because it's not an actual department, it's just a problem. And I've just, my whole life I've realized like that is not a department, and that's a problem. It's a blight. but so be it, right? I learned more about the banking system, banking, international settlements bank for all global, like the reason why all countries have to maintain a consistency of debt and balances and bookkeeping is all based on the Bank of International Settlements, I believe in Switzerland, right? And so that's key, and that they're protected by international law. No one can touch them. I mean, the Vatican, nobody, right? And so we're all kind of locked in a banking system. So whatever plays are going on at this major level. Now, let me just say this: even the Epstein stuff, right? And I thought, okay, even if Trump's in it, he's going to drain the swamp and he's going to go down the drain with it, right? If he lets this out. But then again, maybe he's in it, but maybe he's not like indicted for sleeping with young women or something like that. In any case, I thought Trump might. This whole Ghislaine letting it release at a certain time after the banking system is going could be instrumentalized against other countries to once again put leverage on them to keep American hegemony. And I don't trust in a perfect world, I wouldn't want American hegemony. Right? I mean, I'd want an equilateral
where
world.
You're going with this now.
Well, okay, let me just get back to what you're saying about starving people. There's always been starving people. I don't like the capitalistic system. I just happen to be aware that we live in a dog-eat-dog capital system and always had. And we've had social programs to help or attempt to help. I work with the homeless. I still work and give to the homeless on the regular because it's hand to mouth. And I don't expect them to have access to crypto or spare change, right? I'm talking about those that are probably listening, that are kicking around here tonight, that are able to go to a fridge and get their cottage cheese and their bonbons, whatever they're going to eat tonight.
That's such
they could have put that in. It's
like
not privilege. You're in that class.
Yes,
and
it's privilege, and I can admit that I have privilege because I
don't
have to worry
Bitcoin.
About. Yeah, I don't have to. Again, I'm not worried about me. You're worried about you. I'm talking about the fact that this administration is taking from the people that already don't have it. Like, that's the whole point. This administration is harming the people that need it the most.
I agree.
I am good with paying more in taxes and doing more if that means that people don't have to be unhoused, if that means that kids don't have to go hungry, if that means that people can get access to health care, that we can actually take care of our vets. If we can do those things, like, I am willing to give up the extra that I have so others can have more. So we don't have.
I agree with you.
Elon Musk is worth $400 billion, and we have people walking around the United States of America without shoes. They're literally walking without shoes on. Why?
I do agree with all of this, right? Meaning I see the inhumanity. I'm agreeing with everything that's happened. When you said, would I go back in time and change it for Kamala's vote, right? Sorry, once again. My point in answering no, I wouldn't is one, I don't the hypothetical doesn't ring true. The abuses going forward, I don't know what would have happened with Harris, but I imagine it wouldn't be this drastic by any means. But people were looking for something drastic, and even on that, just to hear that people didn't want the run of the mill, and if that was their blanket reason for just choosing this clown as their president, that is still their right. And so to your list, they're not choosing a dictator. They're not choosing the harm. They're not choosing.
They are.
Meaning,
and again,
by default,
I'm not saying that. Yeah, but they're good with all of those things. That's the point. They're good with all of those things. But Mike, I just have to. Mike, got something for you.
This, sir, is an intervention.
An intervention?
Your friends have reason to believe that you are suffering from chronic Trump dependency. May I call you Tom?
Is this some kind of joke?
Trump dependency is no laughing matter. Addiction to a Trump can fuck with your friends, your health, and scary enough, even your money.
Let me ask you this,
Mike. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next person because I feel like we're going in circles at this point, and it's something that has to be said. Literally, your dependency on Trump, it's not healthy. Not healthy. You proved my point. W's in the chat for Sensitive, who sent a $19.99 YouTube super chat to say, go Santana. Thank you so much for that YouTube super chat. You're freaking awesome. Guys, listen, only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only Request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only talking to Trump supporters. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you like to support the live, you can do so at Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links are in the link tree in the bio, or you can send a YouTube super chat, and I will read that message out. Again, guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We are only looking for some debates, and I feel like MAGA, like the thing that gets me about what that guy just said, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. They're more worried about being called these things than actually being those things. Trump supporters are more worried about being called racist than they are of being racist. Trump supporters are more worried about being called sexist than they are being sexist. They don't care that the things are happening. They just care that you say that they are good with those things. And let's not get it twisted. MAGA, you are. You absolutely are. If you're unwilling to call out what's happening in Texas with Greg Abbott trying to lock up Democrats because they won't allow him to gerrymander the state, you're the problem. You're the problem. If you are not jumping up and down, wait, you said cry? I hear you. Get in the box. Get in the box. If you're not jumping up and down and saying, you're saying yapping, okay, guess what? I'm yapping, guess what? You don't get the chat in the chat anymore. Listen, you can't talk from outside of the club, bud. So either put your big boy pants on and stop being a bitch, or you don't get to speak. Because literally, I'm giving Trump supporters the floor. Literally, I'm giving you the floor. And you don't have enough testicular fortitude to actually get in the box? How brave can you be with Twitter fingers in the chat, but you won't even get in the box? Why would I let you yap from the chat? Go find a safe space where they coddle you. That's not here. That's not here. You don't get to be an insignificant peon in the chat. Either get in the box or get gone. Period. Period. Like I was saying, the fact that you're not jumping up and down, screaming at the top of your lungs that the Epstein list should be out and everyone should be held accountable. You're the problem. Trump supporters like to say, well, you know, there's probably Democrats on the list. Good. Lock them all up. Lock every single, I don't care if it's Barack. I don't care if it's Michelle. I don't care if it's Bill Clinton. I don't care if it's Jimmy Carter. God rest his soul. Dig them up and lock them up too. I don't care. Lock every single one of them up. But yet, MAGA, Trump supporters, you don't have that type of conviction. You don't believe in that. You want to protect your PDF file. That's because he's your Mango Mussolini. That's because he's your Mandarin Messiah. That's because literally, he's who you wish you are. He allows you to be the worst version of yourself, and that's why you won't hold him accountable. Period. Tyson, are you a Trump supporter?
I didn't mean to join. My bad.
No worries, I'll drop you down.
That's my
Guys,
fault.
only request up if you're a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana. We're looking for some debates. Listen, I know that I tend to actually scare Trump supporters off. I get it. And the thing is, right, when you only have the fifis in your tum-tum, you don't want to get in the box. When you I did. Holy smokes, I see it. When you are literally just someone who is uneducated, uninformed, unwilling to actually better yourself, then why would you actually defend your position? But that's the problem. Donald Trump allows you to actually feel those feelings. And for some reason, you think those feelings are valid. I literally listened to a Trump supporter say, hey, what about my feelings? You have facts, but what about my feelings? What type of sense does that make? None. None. It's pitiful. W's in the chat for Sensitive, who sent another $9.99 YouTube super chat to say, I know they're scared to debate you. Also, oh, Ellie Duh. I'm so bad with names. I apologize. W's in the chat. Thank you so much for that YouTube super chat. If you'd like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Maga, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I guess. It's interesting. It's interesting. Guys, give me like half a second. I got to do something real quick because I just noticed I fucked up. Listen. Players fuck up too. All right, that wasn't too long. Right? That was not too long. I know people have like short attention spans and all this other stuff. That wasn't too long. All right, where was I? Let me do this. There we go. Fixed it. There we go. All right. Yeah. You know why? Yeah, I know. Thank you. You know why I had to actually say, hey, like, when are you just going to take the mask off? When are you going to take the mask off? It's because I'm tired of the fakeness. I'm literally tired. I'm tired of people being fake. And it's funny that you listen to Trump supporters and they go up on people's panels just to slur. I know, I see it. They come up on panels just to slur. And whether it's an immediate slur or it's a prolonged slur, they can't wait to get it off. They can't wait to justify why Donald Trump, the Trump administration, won't release the Epstein files. They can't wait to justify why crashing the economy is a great thing. They can't wait to justify the fact that everything that's happening, literally, Kamala was right. I love Peter. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Family Guy fan?
Man, represents values.
I hear you.
That I want.
I hear you. How old are you?
21.
What year were you born?
2003.
You're 21 and you were born in 2003.
Mm-hmm. September.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool. Got something for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mask on, fucking mask on, mask on, fucking mask on.
Are you ready to actually take the mask off and admit that you are good with higher prices, all the isms, a dictatorship, harm towards kids, a weak leader, or do you want to admit that Kamala's right and we can just keep moving?
Okay, well, first off, I never admit that I'm wrong. Okay, no accountability. So I don't know what you're saying about Trump, but I don't believe it.
Okay. Why?
Well, time again, he's proven himself. Let's
Proven
be
himself
real.
what? How so?
In so many ways, if you think about it.
I'm thinking about it. Can you tell me how?
That's not my burden to prove. Okay. I don't have that information on me.
Is the information in you?
I can't answer that. That's too personal. But I don't know. Like Kamala, she was saying a lot of stuff about, housing prices, a lot of stuff that Trump would never do in her campaign.
Yeah, like helpful stuff. I get it.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just not for that.
I know. I get it. Hold on for a second. W's in the chat for Samantha. Samantha said a $5 donation. You are so awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Samantha, thank you so much for that $5 donation. And also, W's in the chat for Alaskan Fury, who sent a $5 donation saying, I'm a 10.5-year DOD that was told I was now unfunded. These clowns voted to have 1,326 people in my squadron lose their jobs for simple numbers. The look on Trump supporters' faces makes me laugh because they see how the look on their face, how innocent people are being harmed. This is why I can't agree with that. They don't care.
I mean, no.
They don't care when innocent people are harmed. Like that's the problem. It would be funny if they actually had any type of conscience, but they don't. Anyway, you were telling me about how you don't like helping people.
Exactly. And that's why I am MAGA, No accountability. And that's why I love Trump. What can I say? You feel me?
I hear you. Greenfinger, are you a Trump supporter?
100%. Yeah, I think I came up last time. I said Trump supporter.
Are you peeing?
What? No, I'm changing my water fish tank.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Got something for you.
Mask on, fucking mask on, mask on, fucking mask on.
Before I even get to this, are you Canadian?
I was up here last time and I said I was Canadian. Like, yeah, that's so cool. We talked last time, but I think I said something maybe a little wild.
Find your own fascist. Find your own fascist. I don't understand people who live in other countries and you support Donald Trump. Like, I'm positive that you have some type of unhinged, hateful leader that's looking to destroy your country. Like, go find them. I mean, they might not be as flamboyant as our Cheeto Puff in chief, right? I mean, like, they may not be able to not put words together like Trump can't put words together. But, like, at least they're in your country. No one's hating on Canada, bud. You don't go here. You literally don't go here. You don't go here. Why do you want a piece of our oppression? Why? Like, what the fuck is that about? It's just a debate. No, it's not a debate if you're not If you're not a Trump supporter, I'm sorry, if you're not in the country, like you don't have skin in the game. Like legitimately, that's why I don't care to actually debate people that aren't in America who says that they're Trump supporters, because if you're not a United States citizen, yeah, Ninja, guess what? Are you a United States citizen, Ninja? Ninja, are you a United States citizen? Yes or no? Like I see you in the chat flapping your gums, but are you a United States citizen? And then you go quiet because I'm speaking directly to you. Anyway, I don't get why you would want a piece of, listen, you can talk to anyone that's a part of OFC. Okay, cool. So you are, and I'm assuming you're a Trump supporter. Ninja, are you a Trump supporter? So you're an American and you're a Trump supporter? Yes or no? Just trying to verify. No, just an independent. Okay, cool. But did you vote for Trump? Who did you vote for? That's the question. Who did you vote for? Because you're an American and you're a quote unquote independent. But who did you vote for? You didn't vote? Okay, then shut the fuck up. How about that? How about that? Anyway, so I don't get those people who are in other countries and for some reason you support what's going on, because if shit continues to go sideways, right, you don't directly feel that impact. So why should I speak to you about something that you're not directly going to be impacted by? Like, that's my entire point. You don't have to deal with this every day. We do. There's 986 people hanging out here. I know for a fact that there's Trump supporters watching. And again, Trump supporters, listen, you can just come up and admit Kamala was right. I'll take that too. I will literally take that one. I will literally take Kamala was right. Easy. Easy. That's all you got to do. Admit it. Just admit it. I'm not even going to try to say your username because I know I'm going to mess that one up. How do you say your username?
Zadaya.
Zadaya. Can I call you Z? Is that okay? Oh, you sound kind of far away. Z, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep. Z, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Z, what year were you born?
1998.
And how old are you?
27.
Okay. All right. Got something for you.
Mask on, fucking mask on, mask on, fucking mask on.
Are you ready to actually take the mask off and admit that you are good with higher prices, all of the isms, a dictatorship, harm towards kids, weak leadership? Or Z, did you come up to admit that Kamala was right? Because I'll take that too.
No, I came up this. I saw this. I was scrolling through, and if you could tell me why I'm good with those things, maybe I can. Maybe. Let's see.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I was unable to vote at the time when the election was happening, but I would have, yes.
Okay. Do you support him today?
Yes, sir.
Then you're good with all of those things.
Can you explain why?
Donald Trump is crashing the economy. Donald Trump allows people to openly be racist, sexist, classes, and all the bad things. Donald Trump fancies himself to be a dictator or wannabe king. Donald Trump refuses to release the Epstein file, and they're actively trying to harm kids by taking food out of kids' mouths, literally burning food instead of feeding kids. And also, Donald Trump is an old, feeble man who doesn't know where he is from time to time, who rambles and puts together word salad. Also, Kamala was right.
Okay. Can we go one by one on
Whatever
these
you
things?
want, bud.
All right. So higher prices. Can you explain why supporting Donald Trump makes me okay with paying more?
Donald Trump told everyone prior to the election that he was going to put tariffs on everyone. Tariffs are a tax on the consumer. Donald Trump literally told everyone, hey, I'm going to make you all pay more. And you guys said, yep, I like the sound of that.
Okay.
Donald Trump doesn't have not only a trade policy, but Donald Trump doesn't understand simple economics. And Donald Trump has crashed the stock market. The cost of gas is up. The inflation rate is up. All of those things.
Okay. So I'll admit I'm not an economist, but so my understanding of the tariff situation is I have a question, I guess, to kind of start it off. Would you be willing to, in your lifetime, endure financial hardship for the future generation?
Yes.
Okay. So my understanding of the tariff situation, and again, I'm no economist, so I could be mistaken, but with the tariffs, Donald Trump's idea is that we will essentially force American companies back into the United States, which will bring money back to the United States, will employ United States citizens, which, yes, for the time being, it will make it harder for us now. But by employing tariffs, it incentivizes American companies to utilize American goods. And so in the end, like however many years, I don't know, again, not an economist, but 20, 30 years later, 10, 15, however long, it'll end up benefiting the American citizens of the future. Would you agree with that?
No.
Okay. Can you explain why?
The reason why is because Donald Trump is speaking out of both sides of his mouth, right? Donald Trump says that it's a negotiation tool that's going to actually lower the overall cost, the overall tariffs that are implemented on the United States. But then at the same time, he says that, oh, it's something that's going to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. You can't have both. You can't say that, oh, we're using this tariff war to actually balance out net. Thank you for the cake. Balance out the actual. This guy's being weird. Hold on. Sorry. I had to block this weirdo. Like people are weird. What the fuck are we even doing? You can't sit here and say like, oh, we're going to actually get better trade deals by having these trade wars, but then at the same time say, oh, we're actually going to use this to get more manufacturing back into the country. You can't have both. And then even more so than that, like literally, we don't need more manufacturing, or at least the manufacturing jobs that Donald Trump is trying to bring back. Literally, we outpace those actual jobs, and we should be looking for more innovative jobs that is going to allow people to take advantage of like education and all of those other things. And last but not least, Donald Trump doesn't actually know like how tariffs work. Do you know who Ron Vera is?
I'm not familiar, no, sir.
Okay. So Ron Vera is someone that Peter Navarro cited multiple times. He said that he's an economist, and he is someone who he has leaned on to verify like, oh, this is what we need to do with these tariffs. Now, do you know who Peter Navarro is?
No, I do not.
Okay. Peter Navarro is specifically the person that actually is guiding Donald Trump's tariff policy. He's literally the person that's telling Donald Trump like, hey, this is how we should actually implement these tariffs. This is how we should do these reciprocal tariffs. He's literally the person that came up with the equation as far as how we're going to do reciprocal tariffs. Now, again, Peter Navarro is advising Donald Trump. Donald Trump is listening to him and following this process with the tariffs. Now, Peter Navarro is listening to Ron Vera as far as saying like, hey, this economist is someone who actually is agreeing and saying this is the way that we should do it. So again, you have Ron Vera who is talking about like, hey, we should do all this stuff. You have Peter Navarro who's saying, boom, I like this guy. He's spitting facts. And then he's saying, hey, Trump, let's do this. And Trump said, oh, sounds smart to me. Let's do it. You want to know what the problem is with this?
Yes. Yeah,
Peter Navarro is Ron Vera. He used the pseudonym. he took his name and reversed it, and then started putting out information and citing himself as a source for these tariffs, and then in turn used this source that he made of himself to justify the tariffs that he then took to Donald Trump. And since Donald Trump, one, doesn't understand tariffs, doesn't understand economy, doesn't really understand business, he took all that information and said, oh, this guy who seems pretty smart is saying that we should do this, let's do it. No.
Okay. I'm not, I appreciate you telling me about that. I wasn't familiar with any of that, but I do.
Do you know how they came up with the reciprocal tariff rate?
I don't even know. No.
So the reciprocal tariff rate, basically Donald Trump is trying to say, we're going to put tariffs on people, on countries that have tariffs on us. It's reciprocal, right? If they got tariffs on us, we're going to. So this is how they came up with it. They took the total tariff rate minus the actual the deficit, and then divided it by 2. That was it.
The total tariff rate. Repeat that again. I'm sorry.
The total tariff amount minus the deficit amount, the difference between the two, and then divided by 2, and said, this is how much you're going to pay.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense. Well, the problem is that the reason why the United States of America actually has trade deficits in so many different ways is because we're consumers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that we're consumers, we actually purchase from other countries who can't necessarily purchase at the same rate as us. I'll give you an example. We have an imbalanced trade deficit with a country in Africa that sells diamonds, right? It's a smaller country in Africa, and they sell diamonds, and we buy lots and lots and lots of diamonds from them, and they can't really buy anything from us, right? Because they're a quote unquote poor country. Now, Donald Trump said, even though you have something that we want, diamonds, and you guys don't really have much money to buy, blue jeans or whatever the fuck we sell, just because you can't buy those things and we can buy all those things, we're going to actually put a tariff on you. Does that, how reasonable does that sound to you?
Putting that way, I only see it as reasonable in one way. And if you evolve it beyond just the economic standpoint, that kind of tactic throughout history has been used in a foreign affair, across all kinds of foreign affairs throughout history. Is whenever you're trying to expand your regional influence in a certain part of the world, you'll do things like that. I don't know. I'm not a a foreign affairs specialist or anything, but just from what I understand, that has been used to sometimes good effect, sometimes poor effect. That sort of tactic has been used, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So it kind of expands beyond economic policy, and I can't ever hope to comprehend their objective in that specific scenario. It would take an immense amount of reading.
You could though, so economics. I mean, there are nuances and it is layered, but you can get the basis of it, right? And the point is, and I tell people this all the time: tariffs are a tool. That's all.
Yep.
Right there, it's people say, oh, are tariffs good or they're bad? They're a tool. That's like saying, is a hammer good or bad? It's neither one. It's just a tool. It's how you wield that tool. So yes, if you actually do things like levy tariffs to actually get different trade negotiation deals, or to get other countries to stop dropping bombs on other countries, like all this other stuff, then yes, absolutely. But Donald Trump, 1, doesn't understand that. 2, is putting tariffs on everyone. And 3, literally doesn't have a plan because he doesn't understand how it works. There's been reports that Donald Trump just likes the word tariff. He heard the word tariff, he liked the word tariff, and he can continue to hold on to the word tariff. So yes, in what you're talking about, there are multiple ways that they could actually be used that way, but that's not what Trump is doing. Also, if you really want to talk about influence globally, you're talking about soft power. Do you know what soft power is?
Soft power?
Soft. I fucked up for a second. Soft
power?
Yes.
No, I don't know exactly what the terminology means precisely.
Sure. So soft power is influencing other countries, other governments, other civilizations around the world without having to send in our military. So it's
Right,
things
okay,
like
yeah.
actually funding PBS in Afghanistan, or actually being able to push quote unquote Western civilization into other areas where they influence those people instead of actually have to use the army to go in and actually change things around. And so that's what is actually being done. And U.S. aid was the biggest proponent of soft power that we had in the world, and they dismantled U.S. aid. They literally got rid of the biggest soft power, I don't know what to call it, department or whatever that we have.
Right.
And now, like we're losing ground worldwide.
USAID, I read about it just a little bit. I don't know much about it, but correct me if I'm wrong. It was a certain set of policies that essentially was the United States providing materials to other countries. Yes or no?
It was more than that. It was a department that actually did multiple things, whether it was like providing prophylactics to certain countries, or like I said, actually sponsoring access to PBS, or like education. It was multifaceted. You could talk about them providing supplies to countries in need, as a whole list of things.
Okay. So from what I understand about it, that's pretty much what I understood about it. And yes, it did provide aid to certain countries in humanitarian need of relief. But I also know that U.S. aid was, especially in regions in the Middle East and Northern Africa, it was utilized in a very malicious way. And, again, this is going back to that soft power thing, and it was utilized in ways to organize and orchestrate rebellions, and such as Libya. If I'm not mistaken, U.S. aid was how the American government kind of disguised weapons as aid to the people who were going through that conflict at the time.
Yeah, so there's something to that. Hold on one second. W's in the chat for I love Parker. First of all, I'm not Parker, Peter. I love Peter, who sent a $5 donation, said, I would send more, but Trump ruined the economy. I knew you were a troll, but W's in the chat. Thank you for the $5 donation. Also, W's in the chat for Erica. Erica, what up, E? Sent a $5 donation saying, I have a joke. You're not funny. I'm convinced someone was telling him about McKinley and Hoover, and he heard nothing but terrorists, President humor. I'm hilarious. You're not, but W's in the chat for E for that $5 donation. Thank you so much. Guys, if you like to support the live, you can do so at Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support the live. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in link tree in the bio. Or if you're over on YouTube and you like to send a YouTube super chat, if you send that, I will read that message out and you can support the live there. Make sure that you actually hit the like button over on YouTube, and also make sure you subscribe. A lot of people watch on YouTube but don't necessarily subscribe. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscription button. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 250,000 likes. And also, can we knock out the daily gift goal? It's the little hearts. Can we knock out the gift goal, the kissy hearts? So Z,
yeah.
Do you know what, like, one of the biggest thing that the CIA does?
Yes, yeah.
What do they do?
They are a organization disguised as an intelligence agency that is actually utilized to extend our national power abroad by raising up rebellions. And, depending on how you look at it, could be good or a bad thing. Me personally, I don't really like it, but that's just me.
Right. So the CIA has literally been involved in actually destabilizing multiple countries throughout the history of the world, and they continue to do so today. Like, literally, that's what you're sitting here talking about when you talk about U.S. aid. U.S. aid does that in a different way versus, overthrowing an actual dictator and then installing our own dictator. So, like, there's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that U.S. aid, again, I'm not well versed in, I haven't read books upon books about the thing. I just kind of scroll the internet and come across these things like most average Americans. But I feel like the the dismantling U.S. aid, yeah, okay, it could be bad in a lot of ways. It's very difficult to balance
But
something.
you know what the real bad part is though?
What is it?
China.
What about it?
China's literally filling that power vacuum. China has picked up in multiple areas where the United States
Of course.
has
Yeah,
given up that actual soft power, and China's picking up on that soft power, and it's allowing them to extend their reach.
Right. But there's also America. It's like a shift in focus. Like we're not completely forfeiting our soft power control. We're just reshifting it to different parts of the world. Like obviously, we've always had an interest in the Middle East, but here recently there's been an extremely large with October, the whole Israel situation and Iran and Pakistan and India and all these things. We've been more focused on these areas of the world, whereas over the past like 15, 20 years, there's been a heavy focus in Africa, which I've noticed rescinding from like our national interests are shifting from Africa more into the Asian side of things because
I wonder why.
I think it's because of the threat of China, personally.
No. So yeah, even they're calling out that the United States isn't necessarily pulling out of Africa. I think that you're seeing more of a focus in those other Middle Eastern countries. More people are paying attention to it because of Donald Trump is willing to actually give credence to those other countries. But Africa is being rampantly invaded by multiple countries as we speak, including the United States, because they continue to actually strip Africa of all of their natural resources. That's not going away. Now, the one thing that I will say is there's certain countries within Africa is pushing back and trying to take back their overall sovereignty, but it's not something where we're just walking away because we don't want to actually deal with Africa anymore. Yeah. But what I will say is this Trump administration, like I think we can admit that no matter who's in power, the United States government has done a piss poor job and continue to support Israel. But this Trump administration specifically, like Donald Trump made a deal with Bibi Netanyahu. I don't know for sure, but in my head, he made a deal with Bibi Netanyahu, and he is allowing Bibi Netanyahu to do the worst and most egregious things. And I'm not just talking about the genocide that's occurring in Gaza or them saying that they're officially going to actually occupy Gaza. Yes, guys, I don't know if you saw that, but Bibi Netanyahu came out and said, yes, that they're going to officially occupy Gaza. But if you talk about Bibi Netanyahu and their assault on Iran, if you talk about them recently bombing Lebanon, like they're attacking other countries in the Middle East because they know for a fact that this administration isn't going to stop them.
So I do have a question for you real quick. Do you believe that if it were a different administration, Kamala, Hillary Clinton, whoever it may be, do you think they would have pushed back against Israel anymore?
So this is the thing that I will say. I don't know if they would have pushed back more, but I don't think they would cede as much ground as Trump has. Like, so the thing, and even this came out in Bob Woodward's book, War, Joe Biden hated Bibi Netanyahu, but he still kind of bent the knee more times than not. Now, Kamala Harris did come out and say, like, hey, we need a two-state solution, blah, 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 blah. She talked through all the talking points. And I would like to think that she would have been stronger than Donald Trump is, but there's no guarantee that she would have been.
Right. And so I'll say this on the whole Israel situation.
I can barely hear you. Justin, you're yip yapping in the chat. You're about to get muted. Get in the box, bud. Sorry, go ahead, Z.
So regarding the whole Israel situation, for me, it's very difficult to speak on that situation. But I will say this: I don't think that not only would it have been no different for any administration ever, but regarding the Kamala and Biden administration of the past 4 years, I think that based off of how they handled the whole Ukraine situation, I think that they would have ceded as much as, I won't say it anymore, but ceded as much ground. And because here's the thing, Israel has been allied the United States since its inception in 1948. So, and depending on, what you may or may not believe, but there's a heavy economic and I guess almost, I don't want to say Illuminati. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but like
but we know what APEC is doing. Like, we know how much money
Right.
that they're putting into these politicians.
Exactly. And so my point is at the end of the day, people like to make it a talking point because that's what we do. But I don't think it would be any different for any administration. Just me personally. But
yeah, and like I said, I'll give you that. I can't say, wholeheartedly, yes, things would have been different or better or whatever. The only thing that I can say, Justin, that's your last warning. You're getting muted, bud. Get in the box. No one cares about your whining and complaining in the chat. Sorry. The one thing that I will say is that I don't think it would be as bad. Now, it's bad. It's a G side. I mean, but Gaza is they're dealing with a level 5 famine, right? But I think that you see, I think that you see like this Trump administration pulling the influence that the United States has, and a lot of these other G-sides that are occurring all around the world are getting worse in the sense of you can talk about the Congo, you can talk about Eritrea, you can talk about what's happening in Sudan. You can talk about even what's happening in Ukraine, like all of these other areas around the world where normally you would see the United States, at least quote unquote, try to step up and try to step in and try to say like, hey, don't do this. The Trump administration isn't even taking that stance. And that's the thing.
I guess that's
Hold on one second.
Kind of valid.
Steve, you said, how bad is your life? You still have your podcast. Steve, get in the box, bud. I'm going to send you a request and I'm going to mute you because let's talk about how bad, quote unquote, my life is. Like, if you feel like that, come on. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Do your thing. But I do want to circle back real quick to the tariff point. You said that making threats to increase tariffs while also trying to bring manufacturing back economically didn't make sense because it's contradictory. But I would like to counter that by saying that would be true if you were trying to do that for every country, whereas the objective here is that depending on the nation and how our diplomacy is with them, you employ a very specific tactic to each country. These countries over here, you may enforce high tariffs to try and essentially financially bully them into submission. And in other countries,
Justin? Holy shit, I'm sorry, Z. Justin, I'm putting you on mute. Go ahead, Z.
In other countries, you might be a little softer with them. So that's why I think that whenever you said that, I don't fully think that's true. Again, I'm not an economist, but to me, it makes sense.
You know what the problem is, though? Like, you have a more flushed out thought process around utilizing tariffs than Donald Trump does. Like, even Trump doesn't go to that level. And if that was the actual premise, then yes, right? Like, I get it. But they're turning a fire hose on the country. It's market manipulation because they keep actually threatening tariffs and, put them on, take them off, put them on, take them off. And it's a whole thing. Justin, don't come off mute. It's not your turn to speak. It's a whole thing. And that's the problem. So if there was an actual approach like you were talking about, I get that. But that's not the approach. And then even more so, like, I think the thought behind like, oh, we need to bring people back into, manufacturing back into the country, where it's just like, oh, let's have manufacturers make these pins or make these socks or whatever. Like, I don't think that's reasonable because we should be getting ahead of like the AI boom, right? We should be targeting ways to invest money into math and science, into STEM programs, all of those other things, so we can actually take advantage of those and get ahead of the curve.
I don't disagree. And I think, I don't know what exactly, in regards to the whole STEM thing, I feel like here lately I've seen an increase, and not just Donald Trump. I'm not attributing this directly to Donald Trump. I'm just meaning generally in the United States. I feel like the STEM education has gone up just since I've been, the live of the past few years, I feel like I've met a lot more of my peers who are educated in engineering and maths and sciences, especially just watching, like all these different podcasts and just seeing clips on YouTube and whatnot. I feel like a lot of people were, generally speaking, getting more into that.
Yeah, I
but
mean, like I think there are a lot more people that are heading in that direction from their own initiatives, right? There's a lot of people that has seen the way that the actual job market has developed, and a lot of people have shifted more towards that field. But I think that we need a concerted effort from our government to actually invest in that, to encourage more people to get in front of that, versus like people just leaning in that direction. I know when I went to college, my roommate, when I lived off campus, like he was an actual, he was an engineer. He ended up graduating college and getting hired to work for like Duke Power as an engineer, like straight out of college, really high paying job, like all this other stuff. And it's because like that was the trend, and wow, it's something that's continued to grow. We need to focus on those actual things, and that's not what's happening. And also, like JB Scoop or J Scoop or JB Coop is saying in the chat, yeah, we lost 12,000 manufacturing jobs last month. Like it's a lot. It's not going well.
Right, and I would like to look into, because that's news to me. I'm not familiar with this whole 12,000 manufacturing jobs. I would have to look into why that is, because I again, economy things I'm not well versed. I'm more of a history guy and like geopolitics, but the whole financial aspect of things I'm not super well versed in. But
wait,
I
so
think
you're a history guy. What type of history guy?
so. I've spent most of my life, back to even when I was in elementary school, reading a lot of military history, and then contemporary history. A couple years back, I worked in a museum for about a year and a half. So I've spent a lot of time reading about specifically mostly military history.
What do you know about 1932, 1933 Germany?
I've read about it.
Do you not see the parallels?
I can see those parallels in every society ever.
Oh, come on. Not as much as this one, though.
This one is.
It's a lot. This is a lot.
So here's what I will say regarding that. I feel like America is not en route. People like to say fascism. I don't think we're en route to fascism. I think we have been on the way to, and are currently living in the early phases of a completely tyrannical oligarchical government.
No, it's a plutocracy. That's where we're heading, is as a plutocracy. And also we're in full-blown authoritarian area, not even fascist, like authoritarian.
I don't think it's authoritarian yet, because you and I have the right. You and I are having this wonderful discussion on an internet app. You know what I mean? And we're not being threatened.
Yeah, but kind of literally. Did you see what Greg Abbott did today?
You talking about? I need to look more into it. I've said that a lot this whole time, but
it's all good.
He's doing something about. I saw where people were fleeing, like senators were fleeing or something.
Yeah, so they're trying to gerrymander the state of Texas and cut out 5 Democratic House seats. And so in order to actually stop them from being able to vote on it, Democrats have left the state because they don't have a quorum to actually be able to vote on it. And now he's threatening to actually lock up all the Democratic Congress people from Texas that left Texas. He's saying, if you don't come back, then I'm going to put you in jail.
All right, that's crazy. I need to look into that.
Yeah,
more.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I would like to believe that there's some more underlying factors to that, but I'm hoping there is.
Greg Abbott, like, and he even went on TV and said it with his whole chest, like, "Oh, Texas doesn't run, and you need to actually come back," and da 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 da, like all this. It's literally. He put a warrant out for their arrest. Yeah,
I'd have to really look into that. I need to look into that, because that's
all to get Trump his 5 seats.
I reside in the state of Texas, so
You didn't hear about it today?
no, I did. I saw it like very briefly on Facebook, but I've been busy today, so.
Holy smokes. Yeah, no, Greg Abbott is yeah. And you know what's even funnier though? Like in all seriousness, and I wouldn't even necessarily say funny, but did you see what the governor of New York said today?
I didn't, no.
The governor of New York has come out just like Gavin Newsom did and said that they're gonna gerrymander the state of New York. And so now you're playing this game of, trying to quote unquote gerrymander these different states. And if the Democrats or these democratically led states actually do that, there's a lot more room to actually create additional seats that would be picked up by Democrats, where Republicans have power now, right? They're literally going to get rid of Republicans in New York and California. That's going to be a big thing. All because Texas is trying to quote unquote grab 5 seats.
Lord have mercy. I don't know. That sounds. I hope.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I keep putting my finger over the mic. I wish it wouldn't close it. Every time I leave the app, like if I try to go pull up Google, it like makes me mute or leave or something.
Yeah, if you need to swipe out for half a second, you can do so. I can hold it while you do that.
Yeah, let me just do some quick.
Yeah. Guys, while he's doing that, tap the screen. If you take a look up at the top, if you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button. Go ahead and hit that follow button. This is the main account. Make sure that you actually follow this account because, I go live at random times, blah, blah, blah. If you don't follow this account, you might not be able to see it. Also, guys, can we knock out the gift goal, which is the Panther claws? If we can knock those out, I'll give you a Panther sound. Last but not least, guys, if you like to support the live, you can do so. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. If you're over on YouTube and you like to support through YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat, and I will read that message out. In the meantime, while he is looking up information, we're going to talk to Justin. Justin, you were yip yapping in the chat. Welcome back up. What you got?
Why you spreading misinformation, my guy? Like, fuck, man.
What
half
misinformation
the shit
have
you're
I
saying
spread?
ain't true, bro.
Name one thing.
That we get our diamond from Africa? Are you fucking for real, bro? No, we don't.
Where do we get them from?
We don't get them from Africa. That's
Justin,
for sure.
Are you playing Grand Theft Auto? What does that sound in the background?
It's Lincoln Park.
Can you turn that down?
Why? It's not loud.
It is.
No, it's not. My thing's not blue.
Okay, I'm telling you it's loud. Can you turn it down? How would I know that it was there if it wasn't loud?
It's not loud, bro.
Okay, can you turn it down?
I did.
You didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Justin, you're a weirdo that sounds like you have a mouthful of marbles. And the worst part is you probably got 2 rocks click-clacking inside of your head that, as a matter of fact, they don't even click-clack. They just whiz past themselves. It's just wind. I bet you, Justin, if you stood,
my guy.
Justin, I bet if you stood outside in a breezy day, we could hear a whistle coming out of your ear.
Well, you have a moderator.
It's me.
No.
Anyway, Justin, hey, you want to see a magic trick?
Your mom's not with you. That's the magic.
I'm sorry. that tickled me. I'm sorry. Okay, so I was just doing a little bit of Googling, and from what I read just now, from a couple of different, just skimming a couple of websites real quick. The situation is that, okay, so you said that Greg Abbott's threatening to arrest these people. Yes, he's specifically the issue that, as I understand it, as of this moment right now, is that There's currently a Texas bill in the House where they're reevaluating the map of seats based off population.
Yeah.
Based off the population of the different areas, the different not counties, but whatever it is that dictates their seats anyway.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Did you know that they redrew the map so now that Jasmine Crockett is not even seated where her home isn't even in her district?
I didn't mention that. So the main thing that I think that this may not be as big as a deal as it may seem is because the people, the senators and the House representatives, their congressional oaths or whatever from a law that was passed about 5 years ago states that if they try to fundraise money so basically when they fled, they accumulated fines from the state of Texas that they're refusing to pay, and so they're using fundraisers to accumulate funds to pay these funds for themselves for the fines that they're being pushed against them for breaking the Constitution, or not the Constitution, excuse me, the law that they agreed to by being in the position, a Republican, not a Republican, a House of Representatives seat and a senatorial seat. It says clearly in there that if they try to avoid these situations, but have to pass these votes, and they're not present for these decisions, they can be fined and they can be basically extricated from the House. That's from what I just read, what I understand it as.
Yeah, I would have to go back and look at the specifics behind whether they are or are not, liable for some premise along those lines. The one thing that I do know is that as far as like utilizing funds, literally governors from other states like Illinois and like New York are trying to help those Democrat Congress members, and they're literally helping with those additional funds. So I would have to find out more about that and take a look. But what I will say is that like the whole point of this is that it's a form of protest, right? And whether it be something that is agreed upon or not agreed upon or whatever, like the fact that Donald Trump was able to say, hey, if you redraw Texas maps, we could get 5 seats. We only need 5 seats. And literally Greg Abbott did just that, right? So that's the thing. Like, that's the key piece. He told Greg Abbott what he needed. Greg Abbott did it. And this is the only course of action that those Democrats within Texas have to stop what's happening. Like, this is a gross misuse of power.
I would say that it can be a gross misuse of power, but I will also say this: in the game of politics, you're always Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. You're always trying to sway the odds in your side's favor, obviously. So, and I'm not using that as some excuse to, abuse power or anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they have it within their constitutional, maybe not constitutional. I don't know what specifically. I would assume the Constitution specifically outlines what they're allowed to do. And so if they say, hey, maybe it's time we reevaluate the map, and they do that, probably both sides are going to do whatever it takes to make their side win in that situation. And when you're bound by law, it makes it a lot more difficult for you to escape something like that. And so I think me personally, based on what I know, I think that as of right now, I don't feel particularly threatened. At first, the way you're making it sounded pretty alarming, but as of how I understand right now, I think that give it some more time and see how it all plays out. Well, and maybe we'll see the rise of the American Fascist Party. I don't know.
So like, but this is the thing, right? You keep chipping away at all of those norms and those checks and balances that are in place, and you give way to authoritarianism, right? You give way. Like, democracy doesn't die in the daylight. It withers and, quote unquote unalive, in the dead of night, right? That's why the Republican Party has been so hell-bent on passing bills at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, is because they don't want attention to what they're actually doing. And that's why this type of stuff is happening in Texas. And then like the bigger thing is you get into what's happening next, right? You get into Gavin Newsom saying, hey, we're going to gerrymander California, so it's going to be a 52-0 split in California. There's not going to be any Republicans in power in California. And they're also doing the same thing in New York. Like, whether you like the two-party system or not, which I'm not a fan of the two-party system, I think we need more than that. But like, anytime that you have one party that has all the power, like, that's not a good thing. And they're causing those tick for tat things.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I can agree with that, but I will also counterpoint on this and say, whenever you mention chipping away at the norms, right? Yeah, that's
I'm
bad.
sorry. One second. Hey, Sal, you're getting muted. I was gonna call you the B word, but I decided to be nice. Get in the box. Like, seriously, I'm so tired of you commenting in the chat. Fuck it. Stop being a bitch and get in the box. I apologize. Z, go ahead.
Oh, good, brother. Do your thing. Yeah, no, so I would counterpoint on that specifically by saying, while that is dangerous, and I'm not trying to undermine it at all, what happens whenever the truth of the matter is, from what I can tell, that they are within pre-established constitutional limits, and it is actually the people who are avoiding it who are in the wrong. Whenever you have American people who say, oh, they're just trying to do what's right, so now they're trying to they're doing the same thing, but in a more defensive posture rather than an offensive posture. So it's kind of like, it's dangerous.
And don't get me wrong, right? Like, oh, sorry, Phil, hold on, I'll check. I got so caught up in the conversation I hadn't looked at any of the pay links. W's in the chat for Phil. Phil sent a $2 donation saying, don't forget to mention Trump asks for 5 seats. Texas is moving their redistricting up early because they normally do it every 10 years to oblige Trump's request. Yeah, like, that's a whole thing. Thank you for the cake. W's in the chat for Phil. Like, they're literally doing this because Trump said, I need 5 seats. He needed it before the midterms. They weren't actually supposed to be doing this. They called a special session just to actually do this. So yeah, I do get what you're saying. And technically they're not doing anything that's wrong. And technically the Democrats are in the wrong. But like, when you manipulate the system so much, like, that's where the problem comes in. Also, let me just say, W's in the chat again for Phil. Guys, if you'd like to support the live, you can do so at Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and the link tree in the bio. Or if you're over on YouTube and you want to send a YouTube super chat, you can do so. Make sure you're liking the stream on YouTube. Make sure you're liking the stream on TikTok. And also make sure you hit the follow button. If you see the word follow at the top, that means you're not following me. This is the main account. Hit that follow button. If you see a great heart, you haven't sent your daily heart me, go ahead and send it. It's only 1 coin. It'll get you on the team. Anyway, yeah, so like, that's the problem. They're technically not doing anything wrong. I mean, but like, it's manipulating governmental systems to acquiesce to a president who knows that he's losing power.
Right. And that could very well be the case. And the only thing I can say to that is, if you can find any world leader in all of human history that didn't do similar things, I'd be surprised as hell. But and I'm not going to defend, again, I'm not using that as some, well, it's okay because he did it. No, I'm just saying that you'll be hard pressed to find somebody who didn't do something similar. And we, as the people, as the subjects, have to be conscious and of these potential threats without being insightful and without being violent towards one another who disagree with us, which I see a lot these days. People who disagree, they just get violent, and it's just a shame. And hopefully, over the next several years, things will calm down.
The ones that are violent.
It's both sides. Listen, you can't point fingers. It's both sides.
We can.
I don't think so.
Tell me what Democrats did that is bad as January 6th.
Oh, recently, January 6th is definitely up there. I mean, it was a dangerous situation. I won't even try and defend that. You can't get me on that. That's what I'm saying.
But like, yeah, but that's the point, right?
Just because January 6th happened doesn't take away from all of the violent videos of people getting assaulted for wearing a red hat that says MAGA. Like, things like that is just it's maybe not just as bad, but they're still one and the same.
I think that I think that the actual temperature of the country has been raised by Donald Trump, right? Think about this. Prior to Donald Trump, or when Joe Biden, was in office, right? How many riots did we have under Joe Biden, or mass protests that we have under Joe Biden?
You might be proving my point that, or counter proving your point, because that would mean that in essence, the Republican side would have been more violent with protests, whereas under Trump, it's the other side that has had these violent protests. Am I wrong?
Kinda, but follow the thought process, right? So with those mass protests that have occurred, they've occurred under Donald Trump because of the things that he's done, right? Whether you talk about him coming out in support of the officer that unalived George Floyd back in his first term, whether it's him saying that he wanted to, like, literally Donald Trump tried to have his generals pew people in the legs to clear him out, and they was like, no, we can't do that. And so he used the military to actually administer tear gas to clear them out so he could have a photo op in front of a church with the Bible upside down. But then you see the rise of open hatred. Like, you saw the popularity of groups like the Proud Boys explode under Donald Trump. You saw the popularity of the Oath Keepers explode under Donald Trump. You saw all of those hateful groups actually explode the first term and now under Donald Trump. He gives those hateful people the actual green light to be hateful.
So my question is, what violent acts have these groups committed?
Which ones?
So you mentioned specifically the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers.
The Proud Boys were big proponents behind January the 6th.
Okay, so maybe that's true, but what about Oath
It
Keepers?
is like literally the actual head of the Proud Boys was picked up prior to January 6th, right? Because he was like organizing a big thing. It was like a big thing. So like he was planning on being more violent than he was or than it was on January the 6th.
So my understanding of January 6th, the people who are involved, no excuse for them. But my understanding is that whenever it happened, Donald Trump publicly told everybody involved, he said, you need to stop.
He did.
That's my understanding. I'm pretty sure he did like a tweet.
Do you remember that day? I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry, I keep covering it. Yeah, I mean, I remember it. I remember that it happened, and it was, oh, Trump supporters were storming the Capitol, and then
I
they had to
remember
call
watching it live, and it was absolutely insane, like absolutely insane. And it happened. It went on for what, like 3 hours before Donald Trump put out a statement, like literally. So there's actual testimony and actual firsthand accounts of people going to Donald Trump and saying, hey, you need to put out a statement and tell them to stop. And he told them, let them riot. No, his words were actually make them riot. Right? So like that's the thing. Hold on a second. W's in the chat for Tyrone. Tyrone sent a $5 donation. You're wasting your time, bro, with this guy. I don't think so. I don't know, Tyrone. It feels like maybe some of it's getting through. I don't know. W's in the chat for Tyrone, though, for that $5 donation. Guys, if you'd like to support the live, you can do so. Santana Speaks for you. Pay links in the link tree in the bio, and then also over on YouTube with the YouTube super chat. But like he told them, make them riot. And then when they told him like, hey, you need to call them up, like literally his daughter, you ever wonder why Ivanka isn't back in the White House or working in his administration this term?
I figured
her and
Trump
Jared.
I just figured, truth be told, Trump is just an immoral dude who doesn't care about his family, I think. But
well, that too, but like literally she went to him and begged him to get them to stop, and he wouldn't do it. Like literally multiple people begged him to call in the National Guard. He wouldn't do it. Multiple people begged him to put out a statement, and he wouldn't do it. Like it's so much. It's so much to it.
So regarding the National Guard, I'm not sure if you're familiar with how the National Guard command system works, but the president of the United States cannot command the National Guard. That's the only issue.
He can in DC.
Oh, maybe he can. That's true.
DC isn't a
I don't
state.
know. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You might be right about that. Yeah. So regarding the January 6th, I'm not going to make excuses for it, but with the going back to the whole violent protests, aside from January 6th, I mean, in January 6th, relatively speaking, it was compared to the protests in Baltimore and the protests in LA, it was nothing.
That's false.
Uh,
That's absolutely false.
Prove me wrong,
you
please.
can talk about the property crimes that occurred in other places than under quote unquote other riots, but literally, this was not only an attack on our governmental systems, literally, those people broke into the Capitol, smeared shit on the walls, not hyperbole, literally smeared shit on the walls, flew the Confederate flag inside of the Capitol. That's the first time the Confederate flag has ever been inside of the Capitol. Flew the Confederate flag inside of the Capitol, brought a gallows and screamed, "Hang Mike Pence." Screamed, "Hang Mike Pence." And then literally was looking for senators, looking for U.S. Congress members to actually unalive. You can talk about the property crimes that have occurred in LA due to the ICE raids and how people are upset that, you know, the Trump administration is sending them in and actually, you know, causing more like angst than there needs to be. But like what happened on January the 6th, I hate that people try to like downplay that or say, oh, there was people that was peaceful and da-da-da. We've never seen it. I remember watching on TV, watching them climb the side of the Capitol building trying to get in, like scaling the side to get up. Like it was absolutely insane.
I remember seeing that. Like, and it's not funny. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's
but
ridiculous.
like I think we have revisionist history. Like, and so this is the problem that I have with Trump supporters is like they all forget like how bad shit was. Like they literally forget.
I will say that, you know, I'm not trying to say one or the other is particularly worse, because at the end of the day, you're truly voting for one of two evils. You just got to pick one, and or however many evils there may be, right? I digress. So January 6th,
there's a difference between like voting for like okay, I'll give you this. In a normal situation, maybe yes, right? But this wasn't a normal situation. Like Donald Trump was a 34 count felon who had 26 credible accusations of SA, has been civilly held liable for SA, who is an open racist, sexist, classist. Donald Trump literally said that he was going to crash the economy in multiple ways. He's called for the actual dismantling of the Constitution. Donald Trump tried to overthrow the United States government and cost 1 million people their lives during C-19. And people just forgot about it and just said, oh, inflation sucked. Joe Biden was sleepy. And not understand like how harmful Donald Trump was in his first term. They forgot how harmful he was.
So in my opinion, with his first term, I was a young, very, very young man at the time. I was 18. Or no, excuse me. What year did he get elected? 2016. So yeah, I was 19.
He started 2017.
Right. So I was 19 years old, and then I remember growing up under Donald Trump as a young man. I can't lie. I felt good, me personally. You know, just me personally. I can't speak for everybody, but I felt good in life. You know, and right now I don't feel nearly as good.
Well, it's called revisionist history. You look back on things that happened in your past more fondly, and you don't remember the actual quote unquote good things that occurred. And so I think that's what a lot of people have. Things were good, you know, back when Donald Trump had power in his first term because he took over Obama's economy, and all he had to do was skate on Obama's economy, but he didn't. Right? See, that's the problem. Give me 1 second. Josh, Z, give me one second. Josh, you said that oh, Josh was sending you a request to come off mute. Josh, you said that Kamala was a horrible candidate.
Yes.
How?
How is Kamala a horrible candidate?
Yep.
Well, for one, she didn't really run on anything. She didn't have any major issues that she ran on,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously is not a good strategy to win an election.
Mm-hmm. What did she run on?
Well, I think the one thing that she talked about most was like a tax credit, and you just can't really win an election with a tax credit. It's just not a big enough issue.
Mm-hmm. You know anything else she ran on?
It was a tax credit for small businesses. That was like her big thing that she kept talking about.
Anything else?
No, I mean, she wasn't really effective at communicating her policies.
Okay. Let me read a couple of things off real quick. W's in the chat for Kevin, who sent a $3 donation saying, watch Stop the Steal on HBO Max. Yes, Z, you definitely need to check that out. That'll be really good for you. W's in the chat for Davis, who sent a $5 donation saying, as a black man, it makes me tear up and smile seeing another educated black man like you stand on his base so comfortably and consistently. Never stop. Absolutely, Davis. Listen, we all we got. I appreciate you so much, David. W's in the chat for Epic, who sent a $5 YouTube super chat to say, there's a big difference between voting for the lesser harm based on your personal ethical frame and the type of evil represented in the modern day GOP. Yeah, I agree with that. And also, W's in the chat for Paige, who sent a $1.99 YouTube super chat to say, I appreciate your nightly streams. Listen, you're freaking awesome. Thank you so much for the actual super chat. Guys, if you like to support the live, you can do so. Santana Speaks for You, Santana Speaks for You. Or if you like to actually support over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat and I will read that off. Also, I see in the chat we're saying no ableism. Listen, chat, tighten the fuck up or you will get cut off. Like, you know, we don't do that here. We don't do the isms. We don't do racism, sexism, classism. We don't do any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia. We don't do ableism. We don't do any of those in the chat. Tighten the fuck up or get turned off. Period. All right, Josh. So you only knew about the quote unquote business tax credit, but did you know about the actual housing credit that Kamala Harris was looking to actually give?
Was that another tax credit?
Yes.
I think I probably heard about it. I don't know that much about it though.
Did you know about the actual pathway to ownership that Kamala Harris was looking to institute for Black entrepreneurship?
Black entrepreneurship. I think I heard about that during when she ran in 2016. I remember her talking about the
no, it was 2024.
Yeah, but she also brought that up in 2016, I believe.
Yeah, no, this was completely new. This is in 2024.
Well, I hadn't heard about that one. I heard about her black.
Did you hear her bipartisan border bill that she was actually talking about to the things that she wanted to do to actually fix the southern border?
I mean, maybe she should have gone on Joe Rogan and talked about this stuff. It probably would have got a lot more.
Seriously,
a lot more attention.
Listen, so this is the thing. This is the reason why I say this. One, you didn't actually take the time to try to find out what she actually had as far as policies. Two, you weren't gonna actually listen to the things that she had to say anyway, because for some reason you didn't think the things that she had to say were actually, quote unquote, intelligent enough. And three, and you watched. Who won the debate?
The debate, I think I would say she won the debate, but
she won the debate.
Yeah.
And you still think that Trump articulated his points better after she smoked him in the debate?
Well, she just won because Trump was just saying crazy things.
That's because that's because Donald Trump's an idiot. That's why. He says crazy things because he's old, he's an idiot, and he also doesn't know things. But you voted for him.
I think that's just his strategy to get attention and to stay in the media cycle. He'll just say crazy.
Why is that acceptable?
I mean, it's just a political strategy.
Why would you vote for that?
Because I think he's better for the country overall.
How?
How is he better for the country? What policies do I like?
Yes.
one of the things you brought up is Kamala's black housing ownership thing. I think Trump's
Black
doing a
housing
good.
ownership thing. The fuck are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
talking about?
You said she had a policy to help black people own houses.
I didn't say anything about a policy to help black people in houses.
I thought that's what you said. Her housing credit.
Yeah, you weren't listening. You weren't listening. You weren't listening. Anyway, tell me why you support Trump. Why
I
you
think
thought
Trump-
Trump would be better around for the country.
I think Trump's doing a good part in getting our country away from race, right? I think
How?
he contributed to getting rid of affirmative action and getting rid of a lot of race-based policies, both in the government and
When
in
was affirmative action overturned?
in 2023.
In 23? No, it wasn't. Was it? It was earlier than
23?
that.
Was it 2022? I thought it was 2023, but I'm not positive. I think it was 2023. But Trump has been.
I thought it was earlier than that. Hold on. No, you're right. I apologize. You're right. You're right. It was 2023. For some reason, I thought it was a little bit earlier than that. But yeah, okay. So, all right. So him getting rid of affirmative action helps race relations how?
Because it focuses not on race but on merit in college admissions. It takes race out of the equation.
Do you think that if we don't talk about race, then that actually, thank for the cap, that fixes race? Like if we don't talk about it, racism will go away.
I think we should have a colorblind society.
Wait, so you don't see color?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like in the.
Do you
Do you
know why? Like that's one of the most harmful things that you could say.
Tell me.
Because the fact that you're sitting here saying that you don't see color absolutely invalidates the existence of black people, right? Because your existence, your lived experiences are not black people's lived experiences. We don't have the same lived experiences. You have privileges that I do not have. Question for you. Follow me on the scenario. Let's say it's 12 o'clock at night, dark. You're flying down the highway's empty, right? The highway's empty. You're doing, what do you drive, Josh?
What do I like? What car do I drive?
Yeah.
Range Rover.
The fucking privilege. All right. Let's say you're doing 120 in your range, right? 120 in your range. And all of a sudden you hear, woo, 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 and you see the flashing lights behind you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I pull over.
Okay, you pull over. The cops get out of the car and walk over to your car. What do?
I give them my license and registration.
Oh, okay. So, like, do they have to tell you to roll your window down or anything?
I'd probably roll it down if I saw the cops coming to my car.
So your window's down, you say, and they walk up, they say license and registration, and you do what?
I give it to them.
Okay. And then what do you expect happens after that?
I expect they give me a speeding ticket for speeding.
And then you go on about your way.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to know what I do?
Sure.
Okay. And I've done this all my life. And this is not hypothetical, this is literal. So when I get stopped by the cops, the first thing that I do before they even get out of the car, I call someone, whether it used to be my mom or I call my wife, or I say like, hey, just to let you know, I just got pulled over by the cops. I let someone know that my life is now in jeopardy. I then put my hands on the steering wheel after letting the windows down and don't move off of the steering wheel. The cops come up and they say, license and registration. I say, okay. I'm reaching in my back pocket to grab my license and my registration is in the glove compartment. I'm going to go into the glove compartment after I reach in my back pocket and get the actual registration. I do a step-by-step narration as far as where my hands are going to be at all time and what I'm doing, and I move slowly as possible. And then I give them my license and registration. I then put my hands back on the steering wheel, and I hope that I leave. Not because I have any type of prior charges or that I have any warrants or anything. I have no criminal history. I have no criminal record. I put my hands on the steering wheel and I hope that I don't lose my life. That's the difference between you and I. That's why your lived experience is not my lived experience, because you don't have to deal with the same things that I have to deal with.
I'd acknowledge that bias exists against Black people, but
Then
I
how
don't
can
think
you say
that,
that you don't see color?
because I don't think that, you know, programs like affirmative action are helping that bias. I think that there's
Listen, I
lots
agree.
of examples.
Having a quota on, you know, saying that you must actually have this, this. Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, affirmative action was overturned. But then when you talk about like DEIA, which Donald Trump is actively attacking DEIA, that's a problem. When Donald Trump is actually striking down things like being able to keep from having segregation within federal buildings, that's a problem. Where Donald Trump is trying to actively erase Black history, whether it's from the Smithsonian, whether it's from removing the Tuskegee Airmen from, you know, the quote unquote, his, like all of the different things that he's doing to try to actually erase Black people and Black history. It's a thing. All of it. He's actively trying to harm people.
Like, I think that there's a lot of examples, right, where Black people, their qualifications are questioned because of programs like affirmative action. Like, oh, you're just here because of affirmative action, or you're just a diversity hire, and now you've created a whole new set of bias against Black people that they're not really qualified because of these programs. And I don't think that they should have to face that bias.
What is DEI?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Cool. So before DEI, they used to call it something else. What do they call it?
I'm not sure. Before DI, I don't know.
Cool. So it's DEIA, right? But I'm not even talking about DEIA. What I'm talking about is the inception of words. So DEI, the way they use DEI now, right? The way that this Trump administration, these people use DEI now. DEI, before DEI, it was CRT, critical race theory, CRT. So before DEI, it was CRT. And before CRT, it was BLM, Black Lives Matter. And before BLM, it was woke, right? And before woke, it was thug. And before thug, it was boy. And before boy, it was the N-word. Literally, they have used DEI and all of these words to continue to actually be a hateful slur to actually dehumanize Black people. That's why when you talk about quote unquote DEI, they use that as saying that Black people didn't earn these things and they're being given things, when DEIA benefits more people and benefits other people other than Black people. Literally all that DEIA is saying people should be judged based on their merits, not based off of the color of their skin, white. It shouldn't matter that you're a white man. It should matter who has the better qualifications, and that's all that DEIA is.
But it's a policy that like puts things into effect.
It's absolutely not a policy.
It's a government policy, is it not?
It's
DIA?
absolutely not a government policy. Give me the policy number that was passed. Give me the actual.
I don't know the policy.
Give me the bill where DEIA was passed into policy.
I don't know the bill.
Because it's not one. It's not a policy. It's an actual practice.
It's just an idea.
Yes, it's a practice that is taught throughout different actual industries. And it's even shown, like there's multiple studies, including like studies that were completed by Forbes, that shows that like the companies that institute DEIA practices are more financially stable. They actually generate more revenue and they have happier employees. Literally, it works better when you actually have DEIA. Listen, when you have the ability to have diversity in anything, it's only going to be better. It's only going to be better.
Okay, let me just tell you how I think we should solve the racial problems in our country.
Before you do, what is race?
It's a way of it's like a way of categorizing people based on the part of the world they descended from.
Wrong. Okay, what is racism?
It's discrimination based on race or prejudice based on race.
Wrong. Okay, so you don't know what race is and you don't know what racism is, so you're gonna tell me how we fix that, and you don't even know what those two things are.
How is it wrong?
Race is a social construct that it was created based off of phenotypical characteristics. Race was created to justify racism. Racism is a social hierarchy that's rooted in the patriarchal system, a system of oppression. It was literally used to actually it was used to validate chattel slavery. Like literally, racism was created to justify. I'm sorry, race was created to justify chattel slavery, like literally. And when you talk about that system of oppression and chattel slavery, only Black people have ever been involved in chattel slavery.
Okay, so it was created. So does that mean we could get rid of it? Like, could we not have race anymore?
You could, but you'd have to go through all the systematic racism that's still in place. So that, do you know what medical racism is?
Yeah.
What's medical racism?
It's racism in the medical industry, pretty much, that Black people are discriminated
2 + 2
against by
does equal
doctors.
4. Can you give me any type of actual information around medical racism? What do you know about medical racism?
Like an example is like doctors are much less likely to diagnose melanoma in Black patients because they suspect, like, they're not as likely to suspect that Black patients have melanoma.
Why?
I think because it might be harder to detect in
That's
Black
not true.
patients, and because Black patients are less likely to have melanoma.
That's not true. That's absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true. What it is, medical racism is racist practices and biases that are taught that have been passed down. It's misnomers like saying that Black people have less nerve endings and so they don't feel pain the way that white people feel pain. And so when they complain about pain or they say they need pain medication, it's not really happening because they don't experience pain like other people. It's literally pseudoscience that was done when they actually practice different medical procedures on slaves in the United States. They literally said slaves did not feel the actual pain that they were inflicted. Taught.
Can I say what like I was gonna say originally?
About race and racism?
Yeah, like about how we should get rid of race.
I genuinely wouldn't care to hear you say it because you don't know what race is and you don't know what racism is. If you don't know what race is and you don't know what racism is, why should I listen to your opinion about how you fix it? That doesn't even make sense, does it?
Isn't that like why you
if
have this
I sit here
live?
and tell you, I'm a chef, right? I'm a chef, but I don't know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Are you gonna let me cook for you?
I suppose not.
Okay, so literally you just told me you don't know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Why would I let you actually cook for me?
Well, don't you want to like convince me that?
I don't have
like,
to convince you
don't
of
you
shit.
want to? No.
No,
Don't you want to like
listen,
reach the other side and
no,
convince people of
you
your
must have
beliefs?
this confused. I have no interest in actually trying to convince you of anything. Also, I don't think that I have to reach the other side. I am not one of those bleeding heart liberals or what. I could give 2 fucks if we convince quote unquote MAGA to join our side. Like, listen, history's gonna look back on you and the red hats the same way they did as Nazis, and either you can actually get with it or get gone. Regardless, you are the problem. I'm not trying to convince you.
Wouldn't you want to prevent
there's
this Nazi?
961 people watching this live right now. I'm talking to the people in the chat who
Well, do you
didn't
want to
actually
convince them?
I'm here talking to the people in the chat who are sitting here saying like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I could be better. The people that's actually willing to question themselves, if you're willing to come up on the live, there's no actual trying to convince you. Why would I try to convince you of anything? That doesn't even make sense.
The people in the chat might agree with me. And then once I give my opinion,
That's
then
the
you
point.
can refute my opinion, and then
There's
they'll
no
agree
point.
with
You're
you
not,
instead of
but
agreeing with
you're
me.
not qualified to actually talk about race. You don't know what it is. Why the fuck would I let you talk about it?
It's a categorization. You said based on phenotype. I mean, generally, I think the
I
way
had
race
to
works is.
explain it to you. You don't understand race
I
and
said
racism.
I said it's a categorization based on which part of the world you descended
It's
from.
not
Like
based off
people
of what
who
part of the world you're.
people
Yeah,
who descended from Africa are
it's
generally
not.
black.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
People who
It's
descended from Asia or
It's
Asian.
absolutely not. It's not. It's not. It's not just. Again, you don't know. Give me 2 seconds though. W's in the chat for Tyrone, who sent $5 donation saying, what do you do when you come to a traffic light? Exactly. Also, W's in the chat for Alaskan Fury, who sent a $5 donation saying, so how is the current White House staffing merit-based, Josh? Absolutely, it's not. There's no merit. There's no merit. W's in the chat for both of them, guys. If you'd like to support the live, you can do so at Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support the live. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Everything's appreciated. Phil, I haven't really been bringing up any friendlies at all tonight, and I wouldn't have brought anybody up, but Phil, you never request up, so I had to go ahead and hit the accept button. Phil, what you got?
I was just going to ask a question about his understanding about DEIA.
The floor is yours, Phil.
Okay. So Josh, if you had to implement DEIA as a practice, what do you believe that actually is?
I think it would involve like teaching classes about racial sensitivity to my employees. Like teaching them about.
Is that it?
I mean, there's other stuff. There'd be like the accessibility stuff, like putting ramps, but that's kind of the controversial part. I'd say.
It's controversial to have ramps for people that have disabilities?
No, the controversial part would be teaching classes about racial sensitivities.
So understanding people around you that have differences and knowing that maybe I shouldn't address something in a certain way is controversial.
I think it's controversial because you're putting race on a pedestal as if it's some super important thing. Like, you know, race is so important and we have to take a class about it, then maybe I should focus on everyone's race, you know? I think it makes people focus on race more than they already do.
So I think the biggest problem that people have is they don't understand the plight of marginalized people. And as soon as the people that are not marginalized have to then understand that plight, they think they are inconvenienced, and it takes time out of their day. It takes effort out of their work. Why is it a problem for you to have to understand that someone may have a hardship that you have to understand and then hopefully not be a burden to that person anymore?
It's not really about inconvenience and about time of the day. It's about emphasizing race as some super important thing that we have to pay attention to. I think race we shouldn't pay attention to. I think we shouldn't notice people's race at all. I think we talked about how race is a social construct, right? If we want to get rid of that social construct, I don't think it's helping to teach classes about that social construct.
So Josh, I agree. I'm going to give one thing, and I'm only saying this as a caveat.
Sorry.
I would agree that we should not care about race. However, we do not live in a fantasy world, and oppression and depression of people around the world has been a constant construct of anyone that has been the superior by control, not superior by just natural ability, just people taking control. They have done this all the time. So if someone is saying that, especially Santana gave a great point. When you are in your car you do not fear the outcome of not being able to go home. And he said to you that he fears the outcome of not being able to return home just by someone that is supposed to enforce the law can pull him over. And at no point did you acknowledge that is something that he has to deal with that you don't.
I did acknowledge that.
By Santana's face, I would say that that's probably not right.
I acknowledge that bias.
Yeah, he glazed over it. He said, "Yeah, bias exists, but da 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 da." Like he invalidated it. I mean, like it's saying that I hear you doesn't mean that you actually like you invalidated. But anyway, Phil, yeah, sure, but Phil was still speaking.
I disagree with the
solution. But Phil was still speaking.
So the go back to the DIA thing that I wanted to come up for anyway, so I don't waste Santana's time. The thing is, DEIA, as much as you guys want to champion like the most qualified person in the position, DEIA was structured around the fact that they are trying to eliminate any discriminating factors to anybody in general, to make sure that the most qualified person is put in the position that people that are in a position feel comfortable enough to optimize their work and output. So everything that is done by DEIA in its totality is to totally make sure that the workforce, the people that are represented in there and the people that are hired in there are the most qualified for that person. So DIA, if you want to dumb it down, because people always want to say that it's a hiring practice.
We don't want to say that. I've messed around and said DUMB, that's ableist. We want to try to stay away from that.
The what?
DUMB, that's an ableist term. We want to try to stay away from that.
Did I say that? Shit.
Yeah, it happens. I literally just did it a few minutes ago, but yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, all good.
So a hiring quote unquote practice is that if I'm going to put out a job rec, right, to hire a person for a position, maybe I then say my application does not include names because I know that there can be prejudice against names. I in my quote unquote hiring practice, instead of going to one source because I know that I get a limited pool of personnel, I go to 3 different sources, and those sources I'll get all of the candidates in and source them. So like, it's not actually promoting any quote unquote race over anything, which you point out. It is solely eliminating discriminating factors so that you get the best pool of people in there. And DIA in its face is solely to make people more comfortable, more accepted, more productive in their role because they do not feel alienated by being there.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to call out is not specifically a hiring practice. It is something that can be used in hiring, but it's not something that's taught specifically as a hiring practice. And for the people asking what's the A, it's accessibility. Anyway, go ahead, Josh.
Okay, well, let me just have a little bit of time to respond. So I agree that bias exists. It exists in hiring. It exists in traffic stops. It exists against race. But I don't think that the best course of action to get rid of that bias is to create policies that are aimed to, try and eliminate racial bias, or to create policies
though. You got to stop saying that, Josh. No, Josh, you're flat out lying.
Let me just
There's no policy. No, why the fuck would I let you finish when you're lying? There's no policies that were passed. I literally said give me the policy. You couldn't give me one because there's none. And so you think that I'm going to let you? Okay, name the policy. Name the policy that was passed.
Affirmative action is an obvious.
Affirmative action is not DEIA. We've already established that.
There's Target has a REACH program designed to
give me the policy that was passed, the actual policy number, because you keep saying policy.
The specific DEIA policy you're talking about?
Yes. Tell me where the policy was passed, because there's not one.
Well, the practices, It's just semantics at this point.
It's not. It's not because an actual policy is passed through Congress and can be enforced through law. That's what a policy is. Stop saying
give me like 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes to just make my point.
Don't say that again. If you lie, I'm gonna cut you off.
Okay, fine. The practices that were put into place to try and teach people about race, or to try and teach people not to discriminate, or to try and change hiring practices to make them less racial discrimination. I think that these practices are counter. I think that
look at God. He was raptured, I think.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, sorry. I'm saying that when you put in practices that emphasize race, I think that you're creating bias because you're causing people to focus on race. You're putting race at some level of importance that I don't think it is. And I think an example of this, right? An example where my solution has worked would be like left-handed people, for example, right? Left-handed people were persecuted at one point in history. They were seen as witches.
Were left-handed people? Did left-handed people have to deal with chattel slavery?
We burned them at the stake because we thought they were witches.
Did left-handed people have to deal with chattel slavery?
So you don't think they were persecuted?
I don't think that you can equivocate left-handed people being persecuted during the Salem witch trials as the same as fucking chattel slavery. What are we even talking about,
You don't think it was wrong what we did to left-handed people? You think it was wrong?
I don't think that it equals chattel slavery. What are you talking about?
I don't want to play the oppression Olympics where who was the oppressed
There's no
the most.
fucking we're not talking about Jewish people versus black people. We're not talking about Palestinians versus black people. We're not talking about other marginalized communities. You're talking about left-handed people versus fucking chattel slavery.
Left-handed people were persecuted at a point in history, and it did harm them, right?
Sure.
It was harmful.
Listen,
it was wrong.
I got some for you, Josh.
Right.
I got
let me finish.
I got
We've reached a point.
I need you to hear this.
This, sir, is an intervention.
It's an intervention.
Your friends have reason to believe that you are suffering from chronic Trump dependency. May I call you Tom?
Is this some kind of joke?
Trump dependency is no laughing matter. Addiction to a Trump
That's
can fuck
irrelevant.
with your friends, your health, and scary enough, even your money.
Listen, your dependency on Trump and this MAGA movement and your loyalty to it is nothing but detrimental. It's harmful. It's harmful to you.
I'm not loyal to
And with
Trump.
that being
I don't even
said,
like Trump.
fuck off. Sincerely, fuck off. Not gonna do it. Phil, we're not doing that tonight.
I understand.
Phil, I appreciate you coming up.
Thanks for bringing me up. Love you, brother.
Love you more. Guys, okay, so FYI, I'm way over. W's in the chat for Rachel. Rachel sent a $1 donation saying the most privileged demographic thinking he can solve oppression he directly benefits from. Let's also ask him how he would fix the wage gap and abortion issues. Like what? Yes, absolutely. W's in the chat for Erica, who sent a $1 donation. I do not have to read this slowly. I will read it quickly. DEIA is not about giving preferential treatment to any group. It's about removing barriers and creating a level playing field so the best candidates, regardless of the background, can be hired and succeed. Thank you kindly. Listen, I told you, like, if I'm in the middle of it, I'm, whatever. Anyway, W's in the chat for both Erica and also Rachel. Thank you guys so much for the $1 donation. Guys, there's 977 people hanging out here right now. Look up at the top. If you see the word follow, you see that? If you see follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button. W's in the chat for Samantha. Samantha sent a $10 donation saying, thanks for all that you do. Samantha, thank you for being here. You're freaking amazing. You're absolutely amazing. You're so kind. Thank you for that $10 donation. With that being said, I told my wife 40 minutes ago that I was only going to be online for 10 more minutes. I'm 30 minutes over. So outro, anyone? Outro?
You stepped in the box, now you're in the ring. Ain't no hugs here, you better take your best swing. Mike Hot, who wanna step in the flame? This ain't a debate, this a mind game. Facts type lies, get left in chain. One wrong word.
Oh, God, it was one hell of a night. Fucking left-handed people, right? Wow. Anyway, guys, listen, I got to get out of here. I appreciate everyone for hanging out tonight. Thank you all. You all were absolutely amazing. I will be back tomorrow. Thank you for all the likes, the taps, the gifts, the shares. Thank you for being amazing. Just thank you for being you. I love you all. You all are absolutely amazing. I love you. And as always, peace.